Just an ambitious proletariat questioning what it all means now that you found out that it doesn't mean anything to be right when the world is wrong. I'm so sorry to hear that you crestfallen alone.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Salina, Kansas for the United States National Aerobatic Championships at the intermediate category. And we've also got some gliders sprinkled in, flying a variety of categories. I'm Rob Dumovic with Spread Aviation.
And I'm Jeff Granger from Pilot Makers Advanced Flight Academy in Provo, Utah.
Outstanding, and we're happy to be presenting the U.S. National Aerobatic Championship sponsored by Extra Aircraft, Aura Aero, Game Aerospace, MX Aircraft Company, Northwest Insurance Group, and American Champion Aircraft Corporation. Thank you very much. Forrest Fox is over there.
So you did right in order with the sponsors.
Well, yeah, I tried to. It's reading. You know, it's
great.
required as a part of getting a pilot certificate. You need to be able to read, write, and understand the English language. Jeff, how many pilots would you say you've made over the years?
Me personally, not a lot.
Not a lot?
No, I don't do much primary training. In fact, I think I've only signed off one private pilot for solo, and I've signed off a couple of pilots for their instrument rating and for their CFI rating. But I concentrate mainly on tailwheel aerobatics and spin recovery.
In my opinion, tailwheel is what really makes a pilot. You can get a rating, but tailwheel really teaches you how to fly.
I think real pilots fly tailwheel.
Absolutely.
My dad learned on a grass strip in an Aranca Champ, and I think that's still essential to good pilot training, is to learn how to control a tailwheel aircraft.
Yes, absolutely. Stick and rudder skills get you advanced and really get you the language of the airplane and let it talk back to you. So here we go. First competitors diving into the box. Who do we have here?
So this is a young man from Japan by the name of Ryuichi Aramura. I had a chance to talk to him just a few minutes ago on the ramp. He's flying with Jared Bixenman in Jared's Extra 300L.
And today we've got the free program. So each individual pilot has submitted their own free, and they're going to be flying a routine which they have sent us and hopefully represents the best of their skills and abilities and what they can do in the airplane. So there's a little bit more of a delay between competitors here as the judges get the new flimsies for each individual competitor, and the assistant judge and the judge work together to get those sequences in each other's minds.
He's in the box now, and the first figure is a pull, pull, pull Humpty. So this is a hesitation loop. He pulls to a vertical line, then he does a smooth half loop across the top, and then another vertical line, and out into the wind, the same orientation that he started.
It's fun that you're mentioning into the wind. We have a lot of wind today, 25, 30, 35 knots of wind aloft, and that's really moving the airplanes in the box. Competitors have to work really hard to place these figures where they want them.
Next figure is a vertical up line, kind of a jiggy jog up. This gains him the altitude that he needs and loses airspeed preparation for the spin.
Yeah, and he's featuring a 1.5 turn spin today. Really, one of my favorite maneuvers. I like the 1.5.
So he's got to spin 1.5 times and come back exactly on the reciprocal heading.
Looking good.
Next figure is sometimes called a wedge or a shark's tooth. So he's going to fly a vertical line and then tip down to an inverted 45-degree down line. Then he makes a half roll on that down line, centered on the down line, and then out into the wind again.
It's amazing how much the wind is affecting these 45 lines. The airplane appears to be a whole lot steeper when he's going into the wind, but we're not judging the flight path, are we?
No, on these vertical lines, they're judging the orientation. This is a vertical line with a quarter roll, and then he lays out inverted.
Brought that one towards the judges.
Yes. Then the next is a vertical down line with a quarter roll, which will carry him back to our left again, downwind.
Now, it's interesting also that Ryusei is flying with a safety pilot in the back seat, and typically for the known and the unknown, you can't do that. But for the free, because each pilot is going to fly a different sequence, he can fly first, and Jared can be in the box to see the box because it's not going to affect his sequence at all.
This was a half loop up with a 2 out of 4 across on the top, and then a half loop, then a snap roll and a half loop down. Let's see, I've lost my way on the sequence here for a moment.
The wind is affecting us as well.
It looks like he's on figure 4, which is a half Cuban with a 2 out of 4 roll on the down line. And he'll come back into the wind for figure 11, which is a half loop up, no rolls, and fly off inverted downwind. Then he has a roll from inverted to inverted, and a half loop down with a 2-point roll with bottom. Figure 14 is a hammerhead. No rolls on the lines, just a plain vanilla hammerhead
We talked yesterday about him flying in a front seat and not being able to see the sighting device. They put a see-through sticker on the front canopy with the 45 angles, basically a sighting device right there, so he can look out and reference the horizon from the front seat and not have to crane his neck too badly.
So he's coming downwind for the 15th and final, which is a 4-point roll. Pause each 90 degrees. Then we'll see a wing wag signaling that he's finished, and he exits back downwind to call the tower.
Outstanding. That's a tough flight. The first competitor is always very difficult, very tough to fly, because you're the one that doesn't have any of the wind information when you're going up there in the box. So he did a really nice job compensating for what is really a lot of wind. And I got to fly in that wind today earlier in advance, and boy, it was moving me a lot.
Yeah, I've been out here in previous years, and the wind has always been a pretty significant factor, and I've been was pleasantly surprised the past few days that we didn't have more wind. But it being Kansas, the wind, it was inevitable that the wind would come up.
Yeah, absolutely. But considering that this contest was supposed to happen last week originally, but that interfered with the World Aerobatic Championships that were happening, they delayed it 1 week, and the weather here last week was awful. And we have had fantastic.
It's been absolutely awesome weather during the 4 days of practice and the first couple days of the contest. We didn't have any rain until today, and then it was just a light sprinkle.
Oh yeah, it barely even registered that it was on the ground for long enough to, make it a little wet spot. But up next, we're going to have Steve Johnson flying an MX aircraft MX2.
Steve's from Tennessee, and I've known Steve for probably close to 30 years. We competed against each other when I was living in Ohio and Indiana. He had a Pitts S2B for a number of years. Now he's flying the all-composite MX. He flew advanced for many years, and like a lot of competitors, myself included, back down a category as he got older. I flew advanced.
As he got wiser?
Yeah, older and wiser. I flew advanced for a couple of years, and it is much more challenging to maintain training and G tolerance, and especially tolerance for negative Gs. And just the overall sense of where you are with all the rotations.
Well, if you're hearing the bell, that means he's diving into the box. We've got wing wags. He's getting set up for his first figure, a pull, push, pull Humpty with a 2 of 4. Quarter rolls on the up. And Steve's diving in right at the bottom of the box. The MX2 maintaining a lot of energy, building altitude in the box as they fly along through the sequence. 1, 2, and driving to make you blink over the top. This push doesn't need to be floated all that hard because that wind is moving really hard to the north as he pushes over the top. Now all poles level. Now we have an up down. He's going to go back to the vertical, half loop over the top, and on the vertical down line he'll do a half roll before pulling back into the wind. And the airplane basically parked in the sky as it pivoted around into the wind. Now we see the half roll set.
He definitely has to float that one into the wind, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, he's got to float it a lot. This one, he can even float this one as well because it's in the wind. This is a vertical push, cap off to the right, upright, and motoring out, getting set up for a 1.5 turn spin. He can go on a cross country right now because he's right about center box. He can take this thing all the way to the right-hand side, probably 5, 6, 7 seconds worth of just flying along level. As he kicks the rudder, pulls the stick into the 1.5 turn spin, auto-rotating around, setting that vertical down line, building smash, coming back in for figure 4, which I would go right away into. Over that roll, there's a hammerhead with a 3/4 roll down. Gonna exit onto the Y-axis. See how much that airplane is translating across the sky. I don't know if it shows up in the video, but he has moved probably 600 feet across the box, easily.
It's good that he drove that spin as far as he could into the wind.
Absolutely. Flies away from us on the Y-axis for the pull Humpty. Going up to the vertical, nothing up, half loop with a 1/4 roll down, exit right. So he's got the looping portion over the top here, which he's using that to reposition himself in the box. He really floated over the top, 1/4 roll, pull, exit right. These free programs these pilots have built, worked on themselves, and practicing all the time. So we expect to see some of the best flying out of these pilots as Steve completes the slow roll. He gets set up for the wedge, pulling to the vertical right on the edge of the box, and that's where he needs to be because that wind is moving him back towards the center aggressively right now, about 30, maybe 35 knots. Pulls over the top, set up for a 3 of 2 on the down line. I would have the power back at idle. 1, 2, 3, and pull exit left back to the downwind. Half loop up with a full snap on top, and finish inverted. Boom, airplane parks. Radius just does not move. Half roll up right. There he is. Now he's going to pull back up again. So he's got all this time now to build energy, to build airspeed. Back for this 5/8 loop up in the half Cuban. Just a plain half Cuban here. Don't float too much over the stop, Steve. Pull it around. There you go. Looks good. Half roll upright. There it is. Pull exit left. Half loop up. 1.5 roll on top. You really got to pull hard here. Unload. Let it float into the wind. Pop and roll. Half 1. Half 1.5. Looks good. 270 competition turn. Be good to take this to the left. Take a look from the judges. It's right about over top of our heads right now. There's the roll. Here comes the pull. Long way around. Gonna line it up right with center box right in the judge's face. And then give the wing wag salute to the judges. Nice flight, Steve. Well done.
Well done, Steve.
Boy, that wind.
That wind is really pushing him a lot today.
Yes.
So that was Steve. Coming up next is Justin Hickson. His nickname, Batman. I don't know why.
Flying the P-Rex pits, modified pits. That's Justin. Being known as Batman. He's got a line of merch on IAC's website. You can buy some of the Batman shirts, Aerobatic shirts, one of my son's favorites. And speaking of sons,
I didn't know that came from him.
Garrett.
Yeah.
Dad says hi.
Okay.
Garrett's out in A&P school, and hopefully he's on his lunch break right now and able to watch his dad fly. If not, hey, it's on YouTube. It's recorded. He can watch it later. That'll be all right.
Well, I'm looking at Batman's free program, and it includes a lot of the maneuvers that we saw on previous flights, but in a different order. So, as you said before, these are all unique. However, that doesn't mean that anything goes. They do have certain prescribed figures that they have to do in order to satisfy the glider coming in next.
Oh, it's not going to be Batman.
Not going to be Batman. Stand by for Batman.
We'll have Nicholas Garach in the MDM Fox 1.
Well, that may find his free. I got the power freeze here.
Now, shuffling paperwork. I got a couple pink sheets over here. I might have it.
Oh, I've got him here. So
okay.
Nicholas Garach in the MDM Fox. The Air Force cadets are flying the DG, but the Fox are generally the private or civilians.
Okay, we can hear the judges' line is calling out glider. Trying to make
in.
sure they get their paperwork in order as well before they release the glider off the tow plane.
Easy to miss a glider.
Yes, it is. Once the glider is off the tow plane, they have limited time in the sky. It's down is where they're headed, so we want to make sure we're ready before we kick them off of the tow plane.
Well, Nicholas's free program is going to begin with a wedge. It's going to have a double Humpty bump, sometimes known as a paper clip, a 1.5 turn spin, a P-shaped loop, a hammerhead with a quarter roll, 90-degree turn, a vertical or keyhole 5/8 loop, a stock half Cuban, a lay-down Humpty, and a loop. And he's going to do all that without the benefit of an engine. Well, he had an engine to take him aloft, but he's going to, all of his flight is going to be based on converting his potential energy from altitude into kinetic energy.
Yay, gravity.
Yay, gravity. Do we see him yet?
Forrest, do you have eyes on?
Yeah, I just found him. He's due north. Pretty hot. You can't see him yet.
Okay.
Just come out and make that view.
We're underneath a little tent here, so.
Yeah, so there's
We don't
going to be some
necessarily have
background
eyes on.
noise. So this is a good opportunity for people to write in with questions on the chat. We're free to answer any questions related to aviation or aerobatics in particular.
We do have a Chiron here. It does say he is at the the United States
Air Force Academy. Okay, well I misspoke. So some of the cadets then are flying the more capable Fox glider.
Or we just got bad.
He's in a DG.
He's in a DG. Okay.
Oh, okay. He's
All
in a
right,
DG.
graphic. Don't worry about the graphic, folks. All right, I've got him in sight there. He's on tow still. So the gliders have been holding at 4,500 feet for the high hold. Power has been holding at 4,000 feet for their high hold.
On opposite sides of the field. So
Yes,
they
east and west.
Don't conflict.
Yeah.
That's for noise abatement.
Yeah, those gliders making all that noise.
All right, I see the tow plane diving to the left and the glider coming to the right.
Absolutely in sight. We got a cowbell, so
All right, well, I'm
watch
gonna-
for wags, which I see
I'm
presently.
gonna call the figures for you.
Okay.
If you can keep your eyes on him, don't take your eyes off of him.
Okay.
One of the problems with being a judge on the judging line is that you oftentimes don't dare take your eyes off of the aircraft. So you need a two.
Oh, he's on a vertical down right now.
Okay.
And I think he's already into.
into figure 2.
Yep.
Okay, so figure 2 is a paper clip. So that's a pull Humpty up, followed by a pull Humpty down.
And he drove that, I think, smartly, as far to the right-hand side of the box as he thinks he could. Now he's on the down portion of the double hump. And pulling around half loop up to the vertical with a push cap off to the right.
All right. Then you'll be setting up for a 1.5 turn spin. So
Okay.
bring it back to minimum airspeed, and when it stalls, put in the full rudder in the direction of the auto rotation.
Yeah, he's about right center box right now and still trying to motor into the wind, which is amazing because he doesn't have a motor.
Motoring into the wind, so to speak.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he is working very hard to
get-
put this spin right where he wants because he knows that wind is going to take him backwards.
And that's the thing, the judges do not judge the time between figures. Competitors sometimes get anxious, thinking, I got to drop this spin now. The judges are probably getting tired of watching me, but that's not the case.
Oh no, good patience there. That's the mark of an experienced competitor right there, putting that maneuver right where they want it to, even if it feels like it's taking forever to get there.
Don't rush it.
Then the P loop now, up over the top, and you can probably see against the clouds how it just parks. Just right up there at the top, sets the vertical down line, pulls exit left.
Pulls. Next, figure 5 on the downwind side of the box is a hammerhead.
Yeah,
So
take
how do
it.
you hammer without slipstream from the propeller against the tail?
You got to kick early. That's all I can figure is you have to kick early. And
Okay.
there he is kicking. Watch the aircraft pivot. Down around to the vertical down,
Yeah.
and waiting on that quarter roll. There
Quarter roll,
it is, taking it away.
He starts the, not much of a line there. He
Yeah.
just starts the quarter roll right away.
90-degree competition turn.
Back into the wind. And this is what I call a keyhole loop, but seems like people are calling it an alien head now.
Well, you were calling it an alien.
Well, I was calling it an alien head yesterday.
I did the bad thing. I took my eyes off. There he is. Yeah, and he's doing the cross country thing again, smartly placing that maneuver where he needs to be, and you can see all this time that's passing.
Drive it. Now he's starting a half Cuban.
Oh no! He just began the alien. Yeah.
Oh, he drove it all the way.
He
that
drove
far.
it all the way to center box, which is the right thing to do, but it just took a while.
Took a while. Okay, see.
And complete.
Judges do get impatient.
And now we're ready for that half Cuban. There he is. He's in the 5/8 loop for the half Cuban. Good solid pull there. And
Judges
that
want to see
30-degree line.
Yeah,
looks
judges
good.
want to see the roll centered on that line. Then he's going to come downwind. He's going to do a Humpty at a 45-degree angle.
No, this is that lay down hump.
Yeah, lay down Humpty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Half
Okay,
roll.
that half roll.
Then pull around, and then the final figure, figure 10, should be in the center of the box, is a loop.
Okay.
A loop. No rolls on this loop.
And he's placing it. Hopefully that isn't scrubbing the airspeed he needs to do this loop effectively. I don't know how much energy is being bled or if it's maintaining airspeed because he's set a nice level, well, not quite level, but slight downline to maintain speed as he comes around the looping portion here. Nice, easy relaxation of the G there coming back to level.
Now, you mentioned that he was descending between the figures. That would be a downgrade for a power competitor,
But
wouldn't it?
not for glider. As long as they hold the line that they've set, whether it's climbing or descending or level, that's all that matters in the glider category. Nicholas, well flown, well done. That was an excellent presentation on how to compensate for a whole lot of wind without an engine to pull you through that box.
So why are we interleaving glider flights in with the power flights?
Well, we got to get the gliders in somehow, right?
Yeah.
And we're just launching them as fast as we can.
With two tow planes.
With only 2 tow planes.
Yeah, 2 tow planes. Yeah, if there were 7 tow planes, we could do all glider category, but that's just not economically feasible.
We should probably get some data on who the tow pilots are. I don't think we've ever talked about them on the stream before.
Yeah, I've chatted with them, some of them last evening, but no, I don't know the details about them.
I know we got one flying, I think a 180 or a 185, Cessna 185. The other one I think is in a Husky.
I think it's American Champion Scout or Explorer.
Oh, you think it's a Scout?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
All I know is their tail wheel, and they are superior.
That makes them better. All right. So now we go back to our friend Batman.
Now, in Germany, or in at least Europe, there's a lot of extras that have tow hooks on them because there's some rule there where they're not allowed to operate out of grass strips unless they are set up for towing, or they're not allowed to operate out of tow fields unless they're set up for
Maybe
towing.
that's particular flying clubs or co-ops that own the field require that of them.
Yeah, potentially. However, it would be super neat if we had some extras doing tow duty here at Nationals. They'd be up to altitude in no time.
Yeah, personally, I wouldn't use my extra for that kind of work.
Understood.
She's a thoroughbred, not a draft horse. All right, well, I hear engine winding up, so that's probably our friend Justin Batman Hickson.
Yeah, Justin. Justin says hi, Garrett. All right, Justin's getting that P-Rex all wound up, gonna dive into the box, and probably will actually do something that we don't see very often, and that's climb for the wing wag, because his
First figure is the
1.5 turn spin.
and he's making a lot of
And he's still going really fast, which I don't know, he might fly through.
noise. I didn't see
I see
a
him. I didn't see a wing wag either, but I was looking down. I think he did a fly through,
which is allowed.
If you're not ready to go, that's 100% what you should do.
Once he's cleared into the box, as the chief judge will often say, you're cleared into the box is yours. Have a good flight.
Yeah.
That means the box is yours until you're done with it. No reason to rush it. If you need to fly through the box to get a good sight picture, maybe you didn't see it during the practice days, maybe you want to assess the wind, that's entirely up to you.
Oh, yeah.
However, once you do that wing wag, you've signaled that you're starting.
You can still wag and fly through.
You can fly through, but generally any pitch change or roll change that occurs after the wing wag would be considered a figure.
Okay, looks like he's getting set up here, flying aggressively. Upline, pulling the energy out, wing wagging in, and Forrest, an expert on the camera, has had him locked in. All right, 1.5 turn spin here.
Climbing for the 1.5 turn spin, topping off, throttling back. Do you have a preferred direction to spin, Rob?
I like to go left in my powered aircraft with a Lycoming American-built engine.
Yeah, because the torque helps.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
nice.
can go either way, though.
Set the down line.
Ambidextrous spinish.
Yeah, ambidextrous finish. It's coming downwind for a wedge that includes a 1.5 roll on the down line. He has to make a half roll or a 1.5 roll or some other combination in order to come out upright. Figure number 3 is a half of a square loop up. You see this a lot in free programs. I don't consider it particularly interesting, but it's easy to fly and score well.
And really, this is about percentages.
It is. Well, there's a saying that about your free program, do you want to have fun or do you want to get a high score?
Yeah.
Some people can get fun and get a high score.
I'm one of those people.
But sometimes people throw in interesting figures into their free program just because they have fun. They don't really care if they're going to get a medal or not. Maybe they got enough medals. does a Humpty Bump with a quarter roll on the down line, brings him onto the y-axis. That's important to compensate for any cross-box wind. Usually there's a couple of combinations that put you on the y-axis for a period of time, allow him to cross over to the east. Then on the hammerhead, he'll do a quarter roll on the up line, turn his head into the box, and come back. Then a half loop up, no rolls. Can't call it an implement because there's no roll on the top.
Yeah, it's just a half loop up.
A half loop up. That'll set him up for a 5/8 loop that begins with a down line, so kind of the upside down of a Cuban.
Yeah.
He'll do a half roll and bring it around on the 5/8 loop, and then that will leave him inverted again, and then he's going to do another half loop. These figures, figure 9, figure 7, look the same, but they're reciprocals, so they're not the same figure.
Not at all.
There is a rule against repeating a figure in a freestyle, right?
Which I have gotten penalized before depending on freeze.
Here's another hammerhead. He did a hammerhead before, but this is not a repetition because this hammerhead
Has a 45 down.
has a 45 line exit. So after the pivot, he's going to draw the down line, and then he's going to also draw a 45, and both of those lines are judged according to verticality and exact 45. Figure 11 is a classic implement, supposedly a World War I era evasive maneuver. Half loop up and half roll. Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
He's here.
I had him in my gun sights. He's gone.
You lost him. Well, we're looking for a half snap and a
Half snap and then a half loop down. Driving into the upwind side of the box before he snaps.
smart.
Smart. There he goes. And a half loop
snap.
down.
And there you really have to pull hard. Nice.
So figure 13 is a reverse half Cuban. Same geometry as the Cuban, except it begins with the 45 up line in the roll and finishes with the 5/8 loop. And figure 14, a slow roll right in the center of the box.
Yeah, but he's right down at the bottom of the box as well, so he's used up all of that available airspace. Really nicely presented to the judges. Garrett says, tell him I say hi. So
Okay.
happy to do that because he said hi. Made sure to hunt me down before I got in the buses to come out here.
All right.
And say
So
hi to Garrett.
that final figure was a slow roll, but it looked pretty fast. So why do they call it a slow roll?
Well, because what's in a name?
What's in the name?
A rose by any other name with something something
What
America.
smells sweet?
So
It's a slow roll because it's not a snap roll.
it's not a snap roll and it's
not a
not
barrel
an aileron roll.
It's
so
not a barrel,
there's-
and it's not a barrel roll.
How many different types of rolls do you think there are? There's aileron rolls, which are ballistic. There's barrel rolls, which have heading change.
Which follow a helical path.
Yeah, there's slow rolls, which do not have heading nor really flight path change. It's just on a straight line. And then there's snap rolls, which are a horizontal spin or
rotation.
an auto rotation. Yeah.
And I got a cinnamon roll around here somewhere.
Yes, we did have cinnamon. There were many boxes, and that was delicious. So
delicious.
thank you to whoever brought the cinnamon. That was excellent. And speaking of thank yous, thank you to Extra Aircraft, Aura Aero, Game Composites, or Game Aerospace, MX Aircraft Company, Northwest Insurance Group Incorporated, and the American Champion Aircraft Corporation. We will be seeing an American Champion aircraft later today. Before that, we'll be seeing an Extra.
Okay, and do we have power or a glider next?
Oh, we're on this. We're trying to figure that out right
figure that
now.
out.
It's either going to be Doug Ringering, or
If it's power, it's,
Yeah, it's
power's
Doug.
going to be Doug Ringering. And if it's glider...
I'm just now seeing a glider launched with the yellow airplane and the red and the white airplane just landed. So I don't think there's any gliders up right. Oh no, but we have Joshua being tagged up right now by Forrest. So we're going to have Joshua in the DG-1000 and 1.
So
we'll have a glider flight.
Presumably another cadet.
Yeah, Joshua Wilson.
Joshua Wilson in the DG Flugzeugbau DG 1001. And he's flying primary. Okay, so you said a little while ago that all these sequences would be different because they're freestyles, except,
The Academy's all flying the same free?
well, no, except that this is primary. Primaries don't fly.
Primaries
Don't fly free. So glider primary will be this pink sheet.
Yeah, so in primary, you don't have the option to make a free. In sportsman, you do. In intermediate, advanced, and unlimited, you must.
And intermediate also has a unknown, which we'll see later this week.
Yeah, this year, because we're flying SEVA rules for advanced, advanced did not have a free. They had an unknown and then a free unknown, which we will fly on Friday. Or maybe tomorrow. Oh, no, we're going to fly on Friday.
So this glider primary we saw day before yesterday starts with a 45-degree down line, goes into a quarter clover, which is generally a glider maneuver. You don't usually see it in power. A loop with a quarter roll integrated into the first half of the loop. A 270-degree turn, a slow roll, a wing over, which is something you never see in power. And,
I think we're missing it because Forrest is tracking Joshua here.
Okay, where are we?
He's over here on the right-hand side.
Okay, is he getting ready
I think
for a
he's
spin?
getting ready for the clover. Yep, he's in the clover right now.
Descending. So as he pulls up, he's going to smoothly integrate a quarter roll into that first half of the loop.
You don't want to take your eyes off the gliders. You can't hear them. You don't know when they're coming by. And he's rolling into the 270-degree turn, taking it to the left into the wind. And he's working that edge of the box over there. This will bring him back into the wind. This is showing wisdom beyond the years, what we typically see out of a primary competitor. So he's really working the wind nicely. Slow roll coming up next. And he's in there, looking good there. And that is a very slow roll. Big wingspan on the gliders. They don't roll super quickly. And now we have the wing over.
Wing over. So we want to see a knife edge position at the 90-degree turn point, and then smoothly come back to the reciprocal heading.
Looking pretty good there.
Good way to learn the language of the airplane.
Oh, yes. And now we're going to finish off with a loop.
And loops, unlike vertical lines, need to be wind corrected. So when he won't need as much float across the top, because the top of the loop will be downwind.
Yeah, and there he is. He's into it.
So you mentioned wind correction and the skill of the competitor as they gain more experience. Yeah, there's a lot of levels to this. You got to learn to fly the plane, you got to learn to fly the figures, you got to learn to fly them in a sequence, and then you got to put it all together and wind corrected, so that it remains in front of the judge. Something which some competitors don't do as well, and that's what separates the winners from the middle of the pack.
Absolutely, and if you're able to demonstrate a mastery of the aircraft to the judges, that's definitely going to improve the scores. And some of the things that set up is seeing that working of the wind and the positioning in the box. That was really nicely done there by Joshua.
By Joshua Wilson. Well, given that we're not seeing two gliders in a row, I trust that the next one is going to be a power competitor. That would be Doug Ringering. Doug's from the Phoenix chapter. Got to know him during this week. We helped him out with some of the ground transport to and from the hotels. I don't have the bio sketches in front of me today, but I know that he is an airline pilot and flies a extra.
And you and I first met because when I came out in 2019, you and I were staying at the same hotel.
Yes.
And you had a car, and I did not.
I did not, yeah.
So I was riding with you.
Yeah, since I'm not competing anymore, I usually drive out. I'm retired, I can take the time, I can bring extra equipment, and it's nice to have the car here to help out the competitors who obviously are arriving by aircraft most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Doug's freestyle includes that vertical 5/8 loop, the vertical line up, a spin, a Humpty, figures that we've seen already, an Immelman with a 2 out of 4. He does have a 1.5 snap roll that ends inverted, followed by a half loop down, a hammerhead with a 2 out of 8, a push-pull Humpty bump, a half roll which puts him inverted before a hammerhead which is entered from a push. Haven't seen that so far in this series. And here he comes. There's the cowbell. The chief judge rings the cowbell so that the judges know what's coming. It's a big help for us too, since we have sometimes a limited sight picture from here under the tent.
Yeah, a lot of verticality to this sequence that Doug has put together, which is something that the Extra excels in. And he'll be able to use the 300 horsepower that the extra 300 has. The problem today, however, is all those vertical lines, there's no way to fight the wind on. So you're going to be moving around the box at the mercy of the wind while you're on all these vertical lines that the airplane does so well. Diving into the box, Doug's coming in real quick here.
5/8 loop.
And looping over the top of the tailwind, pull it around to the 45 down, making a really big radius there. And pull into the 45, setting the 45 down, driving into the wind. Really moved him a lot of left in that box. Now vertical up, cap off to the right. Lots of wind. He is exactly center box right about now. And so he can take the choice to motor to the edge or go right into the spin, which looks like what he took for the option there. 1.5 turn spin, set the vertical down, and that airplane is moving dramatically from right to left as he's on that vertical down, that pure vertical. We have a pull here, pull vertical. If I were flying this, I'd be off this already and into the looping portion, which he is. Could use a little more float over the top there, because now the wind is owning him, moving him from right to left in the box. Up with a 204 on the top. And float, float, float. Push, set, roll. 1, 2, good points. 1.5. Snap to inverted here. Take your time, draw this, get a little bit of speed. Yeah. Good rotations there. Sets the inverted, now a half loop down. Getting a really good look at the box right about now as he's pulling down the hammerhead. He'll go up vertically, run the airplane out of speed, kick the left rudder. I am supposing he's going to kick the left rudder. Go with that torque. Let's see what Dave does. Sorry, Doug. And good pivot there. Now we're looking for a 2 of 8 on the down line to the y-axis. Get a really good look at the box as you're pointed down, so you can see there's more box to the left. To the left. Now we have a pull Humpty quarter roll with a push over the top. So I call it a pull, it's pull, push, pull.
How do you remember which way to roll when you're going up on a Humpty?
You got to make that decision on the ground before you go up there. So I have a plan. Sometimes I write on the sequence card, AJ, away judge, RL, roll left, TJ, to judge, RR, roll right. So I'll just put a little note on there just to help me remember when I'm in the airplane. We just saw the half roll and 2 inverted. Now we have the push, hammer, all that, negative G. Really nice introduction to advanced if you're going to do a push to vertical in your own intermediate free. Nothing says you can't, but we do a lot of pushes
and often that's
advanced.
how people move up a category, by using the free to practice some of the figures they would use in the next category.
Yep, half roll on the down line, exiting left, going into the half cube with a 2 of 4 on the 45 down. There's a 5/8 loop to a 45 down. A little more float over the top there would do good with that wind. 2 of 4, 1, 2. Got good points in there. And now rolling competition, 180-degree turn. Drive this, drive it. Taking it towards the judges, right to the front of the box, right in front of the judges for figure 14. The wedge, pull to that vertical, right about center box. Wind is really blowing him from the right to the left as it's about 30-35 knots up there. Pulls to the 45 down, half roll on the down, and pull exit right.
That was Doug Ringering.
Nice flight, Doug. Nice flight.
So we've seen 2 extras so far, an MX
Doug, you fresh. Alexander Coates, how are you? Welcome to the chat.
and an experimental biplane. And next our pilot is going to be in a Game Composites GB1.
All right, Casey going to be flying.
Casey Siebel. Casey came on the scene, I think, about 2 years ago here at Nationals in his new Gamebird, and has made his way through the categories quickly, all the way, already in intermediate.
And quick through the categories, he has done it correctly by having coaching.
Yes, he's
coaching, ground critiquing, planned flights, good training sessions, not just go out, throw the airplane around and hope my skills get good.
that's what I did.
Well, I mean, that's what I did too, and that's why I've been doing this for 11 years and I'm in advanced, and he's been doing it for 2, and he's 1 category below me. So
I'm being a little facetious. I spent many years in a relative aerobatic desert in a rural part of Indiana, and there was at that time no IAC chapter in the state, and I could only occasionally get over to Columbus, Ohio, to Chapter 34 and get some critiquing. I didn't have a coach. It takes a long time to get skills that way.
Absolutely. My first contest that I ever attended was in Marysville.
Marysville, Ohio, that's our contest.
Back in, I think, 2007. And I had no idea what was going on, really. I flew in a 172 with my buddy Tyler Kahn. We were kind of half invited and told to go there by our chief pilot, Tim Paucho. We didn't know that there was a contest going on. But he's like, you guys should take a 172 and go over there. And we said, okay. We showed up and we said, hi, we don't have anything to do. What can we do? And they handed us clipboards and said, you're recorders now.
You're recorders.
So we went right out on the line with no experience and got to see the best air show as volunteers. And on average, it takes 16 volunteers to put one pilot in the box. So without volunteers in the IAC coming out to these contests, we can't fly. We can't do this. So here comes Casey.
Here comes Casey Siebel. He's going to fly a popular combination for his first two figures, the vertical line up, followed by the 1.5 spin. As the vertical line up establishes the altitude and kills the airspeed, puts you in a good position for the spin. The judges are looking for a perfect vertical. Then he's going to drive it to the upwind side of the box and get ready for the spin.
Yeah, really nicely done. Like his positioning.
Coming back the other way will be a stock Immelman, a half loop up with a half roll off the top. He wants to place that just past box center because of the wind, roll off the top. Figure 4 is a snap roll, simple snap roll from upright to upright, auto rotation on the line. Then figure 5 is going to be a half loop down, starting with a 2 out of 4 roll.
He had good points.
Yeah, good, nice, crisp points. The judges don't see the points; they're going to zero the figure. Figure 6 is a half Cuban with a 2 out of 4 on the 45 down line. This roll should be centered on the down line between the pitch changes, with no change in the line. Figure 7 is a hammerhead. It's going to have a quarter roll. This puts him onto his cross box corrector portion of the sequence, allows him to compensate for any wind.
I can't predict which way he's going to go based on where he is. He can go left or right.
He'll look down and he'll turn into the bigger part of the box.
Yeah, he came towards the judges.
Okay. Now he has to get back on the x-axis, so he needs to quarter roll on the way up on this humpy bump, putting his feet into the box, so to speak, so that when he finishes the looping portion, he can pull out and go downwind. Figure 9 and 10 are a half square loop up, followed by a half square loop down. Put them together in one figure, it would be a square loop, but they're two separate figures. Again, not the most interesting combination, but it is relatively easy to fly, especially with a powerful airplane like the Gamebird. And that's followed by a half loop up and a half loop down. We'll talk to him about getting some more versatility. Get some figures in there that can really entertain the judges.
It looks like a winning sequence.
Yes, a winning sequence.
Not necessarily a fun sequence, but a winning sequence.
Figure 13 is a wedge, like the Cuban, only with flat lines, straight lines instead of looping lines. Figure 14 is a humpty, but it's a pull, then a push, then a pull. That would put him, continuing him into the wind, but it does include a half roll on the down line, so that will bring him downwind again. Everything has to stay within a 1,000-meter box.
And minimum up to 1,200 feet AGL.
And with an airplane that fast, that's tough.
Yeah, these last probably 5 or 6 figures, he has worked at the bottom of the box. And the Gamebird really has the power
He finishes this
to
humpty.
do that well.
He finishes this humpty with a push out, inverted, he'll get a wing rag before he rolls back to upright. And then he's done. He exits the box to the north, calls the control tower, and recovers back to runway 170.
1.7. Really nice flight for Casey, and right before the category started, his dad showed up, so it was really great that we got to see him fly. And I think Casey knew he was here, so hopefully that didn't add any additional pressure
Giving Papa
to Casey.
good show.
Absolutely.
Well, you mentioned Marysville, Ohio. I did some of my earliest contests in the central Ohio area. At that time, Chapter 34 was holding its contests at Bolton Field, and I have a lot of family in central Ohio, and they came out to see me fly.
How was that?
That was fun.
Yeah.
It increases the anxiety level a little bit when you roll into the box and give your wing wags. You're looking down and you're seeing 5 judges and 15 volunteers and maybe 100 spectators and your family and the TV crew from Channel 10. And yeah, it's obvious that it is a performance.
Well, here we've got the opportunity to bring the performance into the homes of our loved ones who can't be here, didn't make the journey with us out to Salina, Kansas. But it's really neat that the IAC is able to bring this feature to anyone in the world who wants to watch the competitors fly.
What do we have next, power or glider?
It's a roll of the dice. We need a magic 8-ball to shake it and go.
All right. Well, this is a good time for people to put questions on the live chat. Again, we'll talk about aerobatics. We'll talk about aviation. Talk about anything you want to talk about. Just send us your questions.
Absolutely. And if you don't have any questions for us, head on over to IAC.org and click on the contest calendar. See if there's going to be anything in your area that you may be volunteering for if you're not already a member. Also, if you're not a member, consider becoming a member of IAC. You get dual membership. You have to become a member of EAA as well as IAC. But we know who the best 3-letter group is.
IAC.
Yes.
The International Aerobatic Club.
And that international, I think, is the big key. We've got some Canadians here. We've got some people from all over the world who have participated. Lee Hubner, Lee, we miss you. We're missing you this year. Lee's participated with us in the past as well. Couldn't be here this year, but that's all right. So we've got Daniel Weston from the United Kingdom. Speaking of international pilots.
All right, I've found. Is he in the box yet? I can't.
Well, I heard a bell, and I'm craning my neck.
Have you got him, Forrest?
Forrest has them. These are tough to see. They gotta put a light on them or something.
All right. Well, I'm looking at his freestyle. Got a couple of interesting figures in it. Starts with a 45 down line and finishes with a so-called goldfish figure. You called it the Starship. It looks like the Starship Enterprise from the top. It's 45 lines with a 3/4 loop. His spin is downwind. That's unusual. Most spins are put against the upwind side of the box. And is he flying the MDM Fox as well? Yes, he is.
Yeah.
So this is got a little more performance than the gliders that we've seen up to this point today. Shorter wings, faster roll rate.
Okay. All right, he's going the other way, so that makes me think he's in the Enterprise right now.
I think he's in the Goldfish, yeah. So coming around, finishing with a 45 upline.
Yep. Okay. He's getting ready for the spin.
Okay, coming to the downwind side of the box for the spin.
Yep. He's going right. He's in the rotation.
He's in the auto rotation, and finish on the x-axis, going back directly into the wind. He's going to have to drive this for a while, given that wind. Next comes a 2-point roll. Should position that about in the center of the box. So a roll with a pause inverted. Then up against the upwind side of the box, a hammerhead. As you said before, the challenge in the glider is to get the pivot started when you don't have slipstream from a propeller across the tail. On the downline, he's going to do the 1/4 roll, which will put him on the y-axis for his wind corrector. He's going to the east, away from the judges. Then the 1/4 clover. This will put him back on the x-axis. A 1/4 roll integrated in the first half of the loop, and then he'll finish back downwind. Figure 7 will be a Humpty Bump in the center of the box. A plain vanilla pull, pull, pull Humpty Bump. No pushes, no rolls. Just a hesitation loop with tall flat sides and a half loop across the top. Figure 8 will be a reverse wedge. That is, it will start with the 45 line, a 2 out of 4 roll on the line, and then at minimum airspeed, a pivot down to a vertical line, and then out to the south. Here around the center box, he's going to do a 90-degree steep turn. Probably turn away from us. Nope, turning toward us. And once his wings level, he's done. The gliders like to exit to the west, where the glider operations were over here on one of the temporary runways. And that was Daniel Weston from the UK. Next.
I think he wins the prize for, well, it's down to him and Ryuse
What do you say?
as who came from the furthest away.
Okay, I think Ryusi's got it since
Pacific Ocean versus Atlantic
Ocean. Yeah. All right. The next power competitor is going to be Ruben Alconero in an extra 300L.
Good old Ruben. We don't necessarily think too much about, I don't know, maybe what we've said after the live stream is over, but Ruben came up to me and had a whole conversation about my comments during his flight, and was a pleasant conversation.
Oh,
it wasn't
good. Okay.
it wasn't hostile.
Wasn't upset, huh?
No. Very nice guy, and we got to talk, and he was talking about the cheats that he had been applying. We were talking about his cheats because he was up on the judges line.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because you and I both serve as judges and critiquers. But when we get into this position as commentators, we've been specifically cautioned not to judge the flight. It's hard not to do. You spend so much time judging. You want to be judgy when you're watching these. But
we see things we don't talk about, and there's a couple things we can talk about.
Yes, we're here to tell you what's happening in the air, explain the figures to you, explain the judging criteria perhaps, but not actually judge the flight.
Yeah, Dan Farron in the chat has asked our thoughts on the Gamebird. I have flown the Gamebird, and
I have flown the Gamebird.
after about 600, 700 hours in extras, the Gamebird is an extremely capable airplane. It can do things that the extra struggles to do. It can do them a little more easily, but it is not as friendly to fly. So it's an airplane that has a lot of capabilities, but takes a lot of hard work and a lot of time to really master the aircraft. But if you are able to put in that time, you will get very, very good results out of it. But it's not going to happen very quickly.
It's not a starter airplane.
Not a starter airplane at all, unless you kind of go from your beginner aerobatic airplane right into the Gamebird to really start learning its characteristics. All right, we've got Ruben here with the up-down Humpty double hump. Gonna pull to the vertical, takes it all the way to the right-hand side of the box. As he pulls over the top of the sloop, he's gonna have a tailwind. It's gonna blow the radius up, and he got it really slow before he started the pull, so that's gonna help keep the radius small. But that wind is not anybody's friend today if they're pulling downwind. Now pulling into the wind, setting the vertical upline to push cap on the right side upright in an effort to set up for a 1.5 turn spin. He's maintaining his positioning on the right-hand side of the box, not getting too blown by the wind as he goes into the spin here. Sets that nose down, vertical down line, full power, driving at the ground, lift the horsepower, plank in the seat, pull, exit to the left. Here, you can take the maneuver to the middle of the box. This is a wedge with a 204 down, vertical up, pull 45, and a 204 down. Normally, if there was less wind, I would take this all the way to the edge of the box and then drive my way back to the right-hand side. But with so much wind today, you gotta go early. Really nice shown points there. Can easily show the judges that you did 2 points. Sets up for the hammerhead, right-hand side of center line, going up. Wind's gonna blow him back towards the center. And on the down line, he's got a full roll exit left.
Not a quarter roll.
No, it is a full. He's going all the way around. There it is. Nice stop. That was crispy. Okay, figure 4 and figure 5 is a square half loop up. Set the vertical. Get off it. Set level. Looks good. Figure 6, half square loop down. Another little bit of the tactics. A little bit of the tactics of free programs. You're trying to fly only a couple of pieces of a figure, so there's fewer things to get downgrades on. So the half square loop and the half loop are pieces of that. You're not getting graded on a full loop, you're only getting graded on a half of a loop. The grading stops in half the time, so you have better opportunity to get a good score. We just witnessed an Immelman half loop up. Now we're waiting on a competition 180-degree turn, which he's going to take towards the judges from about center box. And right here on the front edge of the box as he completes the 180-degree competition turn, we're looking for a half snap to inverted and a half loop down. Here comes the half loop pulling into the wind. You can ease off the G here into the wind because the ground speed is reducing. You don't want to pinch the bottom. 45 hammer, 45 line of set, pull into the vertical and getting ready for the kick. Running the airspeed out of energy. We typically see these American engined airplanes pivoting to the left. Ruben doesn't surprise us here. He does exactly what we expect. Sets the down line, runs the energy back up, let the airspeed increase, pulling, exiting left for the slow roll. Which the extra does not do slowly, and I'm okay with that. Figure 12, pull, push, Humpty with a half roll on the down. He's pulled to the vertical, pushing over the top. This could be a harder push because you are downwind. And a half roll. Set, and pull. Equal line lengths before and after the roll. Let's see if Ruben drives this back over to the other edge of the box because this is going to be a pull, pull, Humpty, a lot of vertical lines. Right in the center of the box. Now a downwind pull over the top. Running it at airspeed. That reduces the radius, but the wind's helping to expand it again, and then a quarter roll to the Y. See if it goes left or right. Looks left, taking it away from the judges. Back on the Y axis, now a competition 270-degree turn. And this one, strangely, is directional because you have to end into the wind. If it was a 180, he could go pretty much either way. I don't think there's any directionality to that on the Y.
Could go either way, but you got it finished in the correct direction on the X-axis.
No hard zeros there. Clean flight for Ruben.
X-axis. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because the X-axis is directional, and it's heartbreaking to see somebody make a error in their sequence and end up in the wrong direction on the X-axis.
Unless they're competing against me in my own category, and then
you're happy. Then you're happy to see it. Yeah, because that could zero all those figures. Y-axis, with some exceptions, is not directional.
Yes, there are a couple things on the Y that can be directional, but for the most part, you go either way.
Next one coming up is Justin Miller in his pit special, and that's the toxic stinker, right?
Toxic stinker.
If we don't have a glider coming in.
I was talking to Justin and his father last night at the medal ceremony, and they were talking about some of the things that they've done to engineer bits onto that aircraft, some custom tank work. And Justin also has Michael Goulian's old Edge 540 from the Red Bull Air Races, previously owned by Ben Freelove and Herbie Chambliss as well. So a lot of history in that airplane. And maybe we'll see Justin out here next year with the Edge 540. But for now, we're happy to have him in the Toxic Stinker.
Speaking of Kirby Chambliss, he's here today.
He's here, yeah.
He's here. I saw him. First time in 20 years.
And he recently just retired from Southwest.
Yeah, with a very high seniority.
He was seniority number 2.
I'm not an airline pilot, but they tell me seniority is everything.
Yes. He apparently started working for them on the ramp at age 16.
Not building seniority then, but
probably not, no.
But once he was a airline pilot, yeah, the early days of the airline pilot life in low seniority means if you were the last hired, you could be the first fired.
Yep. But he was hired very early too. I think he was 22 or 23 when he was hired at Southwest Airlines, which is pretty much unheard of nowadays, getting hired at a major airline at that young of an age.
And so which glider is next? Marcus
Rosenthal in a DG-1000.
I am searching for his sequence. I don't think I have it. Unless he's out.
Forrest, do we know if he's primary or intermediate?
I don't, but he's in DG.
Not sure. Okay.
All right. Well, he may be primary. If he's primary,
There he
then.
is.
Let's see what the first figure is. If the first figure is a 45-degree down line.
Oh, got him. Yep, he's already in the sequence. I didn't hear a cowbell, but that could just be my faulty ears.
All right, 45-degree down line, followed by the quarter clover.
And he looks like he's in a left-hand turn right now. Does he have a competition turn?
He has a competition turn.
Okay, he's already
turn.
into the competition turn.
Okay, that's followed by a slow roll.
And then that'll be the wing over after the slow roll. Okay, so slow roll looks good. Keep going.
Primary.
takes a minute.
Marcus Rosenthal, yes, is a primary. Sorry, I missed that. And then the wing over. Nice smooth pull up. I do this a lot in initial training in tail wheel to
hold that rudder.
develop
Hold that
the
rudder.
language of the airplane, so to speak. And he's going to hold the descending line to build speed for the loop. He's got no motor, so he has to do a descending line between figures to keep his kinetic energy up.
And he still appears to have lots of altitude to work with too as he drives back towards the center box for the final maneuver of his sequence, which is the loop.
And since it's the last figure, he might as well get some good smash going and show us a nice loop.
I have to give major kudos to these glider pilots flying in this wind and making it back to the runway. It's not just about the aerobatics here. They have to then exit the box.
Just the normal operation.
And make an approach, make an approach to the runway. Nice job. Good flight.
And that's
Sorry we didn't catch all of it, but
well, again, it's very. We're not on the judging line.
No.
We're separated from the judging line, so that
by about 300 feet.
Yeah, so that our comments cannot be heard by them or their comments by us. And that means it's sometimes difficult for us to tell who's going to be sequenced in. We don't hear the chief judge's comments. So we have to just keep scanning the skies. Well, given that we only get one glider at a time, that means we're looking for Justin Miller, right? In the Toxic Stinker.
Toxic Stinker.
He's got a popular combination to start, the vertical upline, followed by the 1.5 spin. He's got some up and down half loop combinations, a half square loop up and then a half loop down, a wedge, and we're going to move ourselves to a position. Now the sun is moving, so we can see a little bit better.
There we go.
There we go. Thank you. Still waiting for the Toxic Stinker. Good time for some more questions. How many people are looking in right now? Can we tell?
Let's see here. 67.
67. Well,
Yeah.
so there must be at least one or two of those 67 that have some questions.
Or a shout out if anybody wants us to say hi to anyone. Anybody got a birthday? We could say happy birthday to.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Anybody listening in from Utah? Maybe from our IAC Chapter 139 or Pilot Makers Flight School?
Or chapter 35.
Or Spread Aviation? Or anything back in Mass? All right, I hear the engine winding up. That sounds like Justin coming in. Okay, he's on the base leg. Competitors are allowed to do a 2-point roll on the base leg to check their belts, their fuel system, their roll system. Then they dive in directly on the x-axis, give us a nice wing wag to let us know they're starting, and then it's game on. He will probably do this vertical line up somewhere around center box or slightly to the right of center box, giving the wind down the x-axis. Close to 25 knots up there.
Oh, I think it's closer to 30, 35.
Closer to 30.
At this point.
Vertical line up, and then setting up for the spin. Nice auto rotation. Finish exactly on the reciprocal heading. He's showing a little bit of smoke. That's his inverted oil system plumbed into the manifold. He's coming around for the half square loop up. Nice vertical line, and then layout inverted back into the wind. He'll have to drive this into the wind past the center box before dropping that half loop down. Just drive it. Now the half loop down. Now going downwind. Wedge, vertical line up. Don't drive it too far, you're going downwind. We do not have any boundary judges here during this contest, but they can be downgraded for presentation if they go out of the performance zone. 40 half roll on the 45 down line, then back into the wind for a stock hammerhead. Most of the hammerheads we've seen so far involve some sort of roll, usually on the down line for the wind corrector, but not in this case. He's got a stock hammerhead. He's got some good vertical penetration there.
A lot of horsepower.
A lot of horsepower with a small, very light airplane. That's what you want. Big engine, big propeller, little airplane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right, figure 5 is a wedge. Correction, figure 7 is a half Cuban with a 2 out of 4. Figure 8 is another hammerhead up against the upwind side of the box. This one has a 45-degree entry line before the vertical line. Okay, the wind it is challenging to give a critique with this wind, especially with our tent here and the sun. As he goes downwind, he's going to set up for a 180-degree competition turn. He'll look down, and whichever is the larger side of the box, he'll turn into, since this is not directional, whether he turns right or left. Figure 10 up against the upwind side of the box is going to be a wedge, but there's no roll on the 45 line, which means that he will push out and finish that figure inverted.
He's a wild man.
Well, like you said before, this would not appear in an intermediate known.
Nope.
But it's a way for him to start introducing figures that might be used in advanced if he wants to move up.
Mm-hmm.
Then he pushes up to a half square loop and finishes upright. Figure 12 in the center box is a 45 down line with a snap roll. You'll have to watch his speed there and hit it right at his proper snap speed. That sets him up for a half loop up on the upwind side of the box, which is not a stock implement, but the roll is a 4 out of 8. He may need to pause on each 45 degrees of the roll and make four points. Likewise, this next figure coming up, figure 14 on the downwind side of the box, will start with a 2 out of 4 roll and then a half loop down. Figure 15 is his last figure of his sequence and is a plain all-pull Humpty Bump. Vertical line, half loop, vertical line, and then finish. You want to see the pitch change, the pitch change and pitch end at the same altitude, basically. All right, looking for the wing wag, and he's done, and out to recovery on runway 17.
Nice flight, Justin. And Travis Martin out on the chat asking if Kirby is competing. He is not. I think he's here to cheer on his friends Alex Huey and Sean D. Tucker. Just chatted with him for a little bit before we came out here. He was real happy to be out in Salina, and we're happy to have him here.
Sean Tucker is competing, though, and is having a great time with it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's easy to be having a great time when you're in first place.
Yes. And when you got 40 years of experience.
Yeah, and shout outs to IEC chapters 11 and 3, Aaron and Dan in the chat. Sonia B, you're welcome for the commentary. Every single one of us was new at this at one point, and we just kind of stayed with it because we loved it. Now we are no longer new. We're no longer new, but we still find the joy in the aerobatic competition flying.
No longer the newbies, huh?
No, not anymore. Not anymore. I feel rather sophomoric, though. You are a little more wizened in your years. You were at the world competitions.
I've been to a couple of world competitions, obviously not as a competitor. There's no way I could possibly qualify for the U.S. team, but I do like to go to world competitions. I got interested in world competitions because I was at college with Kermit Weeks and Linda Myers.
Oh, wow. Those are two massive names in aerobatic competition.
They were at Purdue. Kermit wasn't there long, but Linda was in the same interior design program as my wife, and we got to know her quite well. And after we all left Purdue and I went off to medical school and residency, she went off with Kermit to compete at a world level. So I followed her in the magazine, and we corresponded about how I might eventually get into my first aerobatic airplane. She was a good mentor. Who have we got coming up, power or glider?
I don't hear a 330 SC. I see a bird. I see a bird.
Mm-hmm. Not a glider?
Oh, there's plane. Okay, there's Raul. There's Raul in the 330 SC. All right, we got a 2-point roll to start here and a half loop up. 1, 2, pull, half loop up. You can see the easy G onset that roll is using there as he goes into the wind. That's a smart competitor compensating for a high amount of wind. Inverted finish now. He's got a down P-loop, so he's pulling down. Nice easy G here on the bottom. Doesn't have to pull hard. Go into the wind. Make that radius. Set vertical and push. Cap and exit right, upright. Now here you can go on a cross country. He's center box. He may go right away. He may take it for a trip. Looks like he's going about halfway to the right-hand side of the box. 1.5 turn spin. Set the vertical down. Pull exit left. Going into a pull humpty. It's called a pull humpty because you pull 3 times. There's number 1. There's number 2. He'll do a quarter roll to the y-axis here.
Is he going to go east or west? He's going to go east.
And here's pull number 3. Pull humpty. Now he's going to pull back vertical for a hammerhead. Wind's blowing him to the left-hand side of the box. And the extra 330 SC has so much horsepower, it can go up long enough to do your taxes while you're going up there. But that means that the wind is going to move him quite a bit while he's going up in the box. Now we have a 2 of 8 on the down line. And pull exit right. Now he's all the way at the left-hand side of the box, working into the wind. Next figure is just a vertical line up. Raul has been competing very hard this year in the 330 SC, so he's learned I need to take this thing all the way to the right-hand side of the box. He does so, sets the vertical up line, pull exit left inverted, and now he's got a half roll to upright. End of figure. I set him up for 1.5 snap to a half loop down. Go baby go. There was 1.5. Kick stick, let it rip. Here he comes back into the wind. We have a pull push humpty, so it's going to be a pull push push. Oh boy, more competitors getting ready for advance. Pull to the vertical at the extra drive up. He's just right of center. Gonna push over the top into the wind. Negative G, trying to throw him out of the cockpit, but the hooker harness is keeping him inside. Nice and tight in the seat. Sets the vertical down line, and now a push. Exit left inverted. I'll follow that with a 1.5 roll and pull half loop up. Roll rate of 330 SC is very fast. He's going to cap up on top inverted and then do a 3 of 2 to upright. Count the points. 1, 2. That's what a really nice half loop up with the 3 of 2 on top looks like. Extra 330 SC powering through and accelerating on the right hand side to get set up for a P loop. He's going to pull up first. So he's been using this to gain some speed. Probably got 150, 160 knots before he heads up to the top there. He'll set the vertical down line before doing a 2 of 4 roll on the down. 2 quarter rolls. Count the points. 1, 2. And driving to make the line length on the backside and pull. Double roll. Well done. And a 270-degree competition turn. Honk this sucker around. Bring it up the Y right at the judges. Let them see ya. Raul.
All right, that was Raul O'Brien, extra 330 SC. Next power competitor is Philip Bragg, a law professor from San Diego area.
The chat has exploded.
All right.
With Let's Go Raul's. Oh, absolutely. IAC 69 is no more, but we still have representation. Did somebody ask about 69? Okay, well, let's get IAC 69 back. Archer, good to see you again. Archer's been here pretty much all week. Hope you had some color over that blue. It looks great, but it's tough to see up in the sky. As long as the judges aren't having a hard time with it, then fine, but I agree. My company colors are orange and blue, so I think he could add some orange to that airplane and make it a really, really, really good looking extra 330 SC.
He's having a lot of fun with that 330, having moved up from a biplane last year.
Getting rocked pretty good by the winds. We did get a National Weather Service advisory saying the winds were going to increase here in the next hour or 2.
Great.
So if we suddenly go really fuzzy or silent,
that's why.
It's a twista. It's a twista. It's Kansas. I don't know.
Isn't this where the girl got blown over the rainbow by the cyclone?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have either
Philip Bragg.
Either Philip Bragg in the Pips S2A coming up for his intermediate free, or Greg Borovic in his intermediate glider free. Greg flies a MDM Fox.
I hear power. I don't see. I do have a glider on tow, potentially on the base leg. It's a glider.
It's a glider's next.
Forrest has advised us
All right.
it is a glider. Forrest
Okay.
Fox himself, a former competitor,
All right.
now running the camera and the live stream, and dancing back and forth here, doing a great job, holding everything down.
All right, well, I'll call this glider for you. What else is on the live stream? I can't, on the chat.
Look at all the chats.
I can't read.
It was all cheering on Raul, which that's great that he's got a lot of support out there.
He's got a cheering section.
Oh yeah.
Let me read this live chat. Which are the newest ones?
The bottom.
The bottom.
Yep.
Yeah, nice shout outs to Raul.
Okay.
All right, gliders
in.
Gliders coming in. So Greg Borovic in the MDM Fox. First is a 2-point roll. Do you have him, Forrest? I'm not seeing him.
We have stealth gliders today.
Stealth gliders.
Greg Borovic from New York. Forrest has him. He's in the MDM Fox. Looks like he's right here.
Right here.
Oh, wow. He is blending in.
There is so much glare up here, and the glider is high and is colored white against this glary light blue sky, and I cannot locate him.
Yeah, right up here. He is very difficult for us to see with the naked eye. The camera is actually enhancing what we're seeing.
Can you tell on camera what he's doing?
Yeah, it's just delayed by about 7 seconds. So there we're seeing the spin on the
Okay,
live stream.
all right, he's on the spin.
We're
So
going
he's
to be
on-
significantly behind.
On figure 2, the spin, so we should be coming in for figure 3, the Humpty Bump. Okay, I've got him now. Looks like he's finishing the Humpty Bump. He'll be coming over in the left side of the box, downwind side of the box for his hammerhead. There's some light on the wings. Makes it a little easier for me to see. He's finishing the pivot, drawing the vertical down line. Now, center box, plain vanilla loop. Very difficult to see from this angle unless the wind catches him just right. And emphasizes how hard it is to judge gliders.
Oh, yeah.
I went years without judging gliders, and when they did occasionally appear in a contest, it was very challenging. I subsequently went down to Estrella for the glider national championship, an all glider contest.
In Maricopa, Arizona.
Just to enhance my glider skills. This is the quarter clover. Finishes on the y-axis, and then he'll do a 90-degree turn downwind. Next figure is a goldfish. Starts with a 45 down line, builds up some nice speed. Of course, it's a 30-degree down line. Let's draw it as a 45, but in this category it's a 30-degree down line. Nice 3/4 loop, back to a 30-degree inverted down line with a centered half roll. Figure 9 on the upwind side of the box is a lay down Humpty, a Humpty bump at a 45-degree angle. Starts with a 45-degree up line and a half roll. Half loop around to bring him back downwind again. Hold that line, show us the line, and then out to your final level or descending line. Then a 45-degree up line, 30-degree rather, and he's done. Exits the box downwind for recovery.
That was a pretty busy sequence.
Yeah.
Well flown. A lot of stuff going on there.
Let's see, next power sequence would be Philip Gregg, our law professor in the Pitts S2A. Pitts S2A was one of the first factory-built pits, wasn't it? First
Yeah.
factory-built 2-seat pits.
Yeah, 4-cylinder, 200 horsepower.
4-cylinder, still very popular. You can find a good used S2A out there on the market. They're highly prized,
Yeah.
hard to
Good
find.
performance, cheap to operate. And I think it was Gunther Einhorn back in the day used to compete in a limited in an S2A, and he would take tactical breaks about every 3 figures for energy.
For energy. Let me see if I can find Philip's sequence here.
Acro Girl 32 shares your misery there, as she says, hated judging gliders. I only ever see them here at Nationals. I've not been to a contest where we had any gliders in the Northeast.
Rare to see them in a regional contest.
Yeah. But yeah, the U.S. Glider National Championships happen in the springtime, February, March time frame down in Australia. And they still compete out here, and I suppose there's a championship to win here too, or is this just like a regional for them?
I think it's more like a regional for them. Okay.
Artur has a fantastic idea to let Tucker live comment on his own flight through the radio. He could do it.
He could do it. All right, I hear the
All right,
engine
we've got
winding up.
wing wags. Philip Craig, he dives in the box, nice little down line as he gets ready for a Popo Humpty. What just whistled over top of us? Oh, it's that glider. Wow.
Oh, we just had a glider go overhead on his approach.
Got glider buzzed. Okay, Philip, let's see here. I lost him.
White airplane on this brilliant sky.
Oh, I got him now. Okay, looks like he's just completed the vertical. He's getting ready for the 1.5 turn spin. There's the spin. Fast rotation right on that airplane. Vertical down, I'm going to set up for a 45 upline reverse wedge. So 45 up, half roll. Pull vertical down. Okay, coming back around on the right. Judges left to right, pulling vertical for the half square loop up. High scoring figure traditionally. Vertical upline, pull cap left, inverted. And follow it up with a pull vertical down, half square loop down. Placing the figure where he wants in the box here, just left of the judges. Gonna have a couple figures going into the wind here, following that with a slow roll. Nicely flown on a line. Now pull vertical for a hammerhead with a quarter roll in the down line. Nice pivot. Still getting blown by the wind, quarter roll, take it towards the judges. And now we'll go vertical up again, quarter roll, and then push 45. Nothing down, but doesn't have to be, because he's already upright. And now a wedge. Vertical, 45, and a half round, 45 down. A lot of different variations of the same basic maneuver without any repetition. Not allowed to repeat a figure, but all of these are in the Aresti catalog, has a different catalog number. Then we have a 45 hammer. So we'll pull the 45 upline, pause for a brief second, pull vertical, run the airplane out of energy, kick the rudder over the top, pivot to the vertical down. Driving vertical down long enough to gain some speed to do a 2-point roll, and then follow that up for a half loop up, and then half roll on top. There's our 2-point roll, half loop up, half roll on top. Now he's got a lot of box and a lot of time to accelerate to get to a good snap speed. Can put this right in front of the judges, keeping the judges' attention, all eyes on him. There's the snap. End of figure, end of sequence. Well done, Philip Craig from Ramona, California.
Is that near San Diego?
I don't know.
I don't know. I thought it is from SoCal. That's all I know.
Any official news on what happened to Bill Powell on a sportsman flight yesterday? Yeah, so talked to Bill today. Bill's doing fine, but sportsman is a very large category, a lot of folks in that, and there was a lot of time before his flight, so it's easy if you're sitting out in the sun here to get fatigued, get dehydrated, and get a little bit under the weather without really knowing it. And he got up there in the flight, was flying through it, got to the end there, and just wasn't feeling it, and made the absolute 100% right call for safety to just knock it off and come back. We need fuel in the airplanes to fly the figures and come back in land, and we need fuel in our physiological tanks also in order to safely operate these aircraft, come back in and land, because just because we wag out of the box doesn't mean our job is done. We got to fly that airplane all the way back to the parking spot. You're not done until the motor's off and the chocks are set. That's when you're done as a pilot. And he made the right call that he didn't have what it took to finish and get all that done, and came back in. And we're very proud of him for making that decision. But he is doing just fine today. Wanted to let everybody know, and thank you for your concern.
I wasn't aware of that. I'm not the medical director this year. We have a medical director, Dr. Shell Ballard, and doing a great job. He was the medical director for the recent trip of our USA Advanced team to Hungary.
And for those of you who aren't aware, we do have a medical director here. We have people of all kinds of professions, but especially on the medical side, to help us make some of those decisions. And I've interacted with a variety of medical directors throughout my tenure as a competitor in order to kind of the same thing. I wasn't feeling good and had to knock it off on a flight, and then they come and check me out, make sure I'm good to go. Jennifer Watson, diving in the box in the extra 300 LP.
Okay, Jen starts off with a 45-degree up line and then a down line, sort of a wedge, but looks like she's flying through the box.
Smart.
Right now. Smart. Get a good look.
Yeah. Speaking of making smart decisions in the airplane, Bill and Jen doing the right thing for safety, and there's no downgrade for that.
No.
And we want people to be safe. We want you to make good decisions. We don't want you to feel rushed.
Yeah. Don't worry about the judges. Judges are out here all day.
Oh, maybe she's not flying through the box. That looks like a maneuver.
Okay. Well, I must have missed that start. That I didn't see the. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you were holding a glider.
Oh, wrong
program.
sequence.
All right, here we go.
So that was figure 2. That was her half Cuban. Figure 3 is a hammerhead with a 45-degree exit. We're juggling 3 sets of sequences here.
I've determined all the glider sheets should be pastels.
Yeah. So pull for a 45 line, shows the 45 line, and then line length is not judged, but it has to be a correct line. Figure 4 is going to be a vertical line up, so-called dog leg. That sets up for the spin, which is a 1.5. Stop up. Got to stop exactly on heading to get a good score. Sometimes hard to do. First few times you do a spin, you're lucky to get it to stop at all.
Oh, yeah.
Slow roll was figure 6. Figure 7 is a half loop up, the half roll off the top, the classic Immelman. Figure 8 is a 2 out of 4 with a half loop down, but she's probably going to try to drive that a little farther toward the upwind side of the box. Really working against the wind, as you mentioned earlier. Figure 9 is a vertical line up with a quarter roll, and then going to lay out inverted.
Yeah, the wind hasn't gotten any weaker since the rain passed through.
Then the vertical line down, and we need another quarter roll. This one's a 2 out of 8.
Gonna have a really good look at the
back
box
into
here on this down line.
Yeah. You get a good look at the ground when you're in a full power dive?
Well,
Right at the ground?
I usually fly with my eyes closed and I just flail the stick around the cockpit, but Jen's much better of a pilot than I am, so she probably had the situation awareness and got a really good look at the box.
That was a 4-point roll on a level line. Next is a wedge with a 2 out of 4 on the 45. Nothing on the vertical line. Pull down to the 45, and then center a 2 out of 4 roll on this 45 down line. Figure 13 on the downwind side of the box will be a stock hammerhead.
Classic maneuver, one of my favorites, and one of the fundamental 4 aerobatic maneuvers.
As soon as she finishes, you'll have to expound on the fundamental 4.
Fundamental 4.
So I know there's 3 axes. So this is a 2-point roll, and followed by final figure, figure 15, a 270-degree turn. Well, I know there's 3 axes, so there must be a fundamental maneuver for each axis, right?
Pretty much.
There's the wing wag. So on the roll axis, the fundamental figure would be
Well, the longitudinal axis, we have roll, which is a slow roll.
and on the pitch axis,
Lateral axis, we have the loop.
the loop,
The vertical axis, we have the
the hammerhead.
spin. And the hammerhead incorporates pitch axis and yaw axis, so the vertical axis and the lateral axis.
See, I would think that the hammerhead would be the fundamental of the yaw axis, and then the spin would be the fundamental of an auto rotation.
What's the dominant control input for
Well,
getting into the spin? It's
It
the
is-
rudder,
it
which
is a rudder,
dominates the
but
yaw.
it's moving on all 3 axes.
But in terms of aerobatics, we don't just think about axes. We've got our 4 fundamental maneuvers of spin, loop, roll, and hammerhead. And all the maneuvers that we could ever fly are just cut apart pieces and parts of spins, loops, rolls, and hammerheads. You just put rolls on different lines or radii, and now you have a whole brand new figure.
And you have infinite variation.
Yeah, well, not quite infinite, but yeah, I mean, you could add as many rolls as you wanted to anything, and technically, because that number doesn't stop, it could be infinite. You just run out of gas.
Virtually infinite. All right, well, if it's going to be
George
again?
Fish up high on toe in
George
sight.
Fish. Okay, I already had his sequence out. That's one I was looking at earlier for Jen. This is George Fish.
Good flight, Jen.
George Fish in the DG,
In sight.
a cadet.
George is off toe right now. We got the cowbell as he proceeds battling those winds aloft to make his way to the box after releasing from the toe from 4,500 feet AGL above ground level, almost a mile in the sky.
So no surprise that it's hard to see. He's white against a light blue background and makes no noise.
Makes no noise. And I'm refusing to look away from him. So what's the first figure?
Okay, I'll call it out.
I see wing wags.
First figure is a wedge with no rolls, so a 45 up line, then a push to vertical, and then out with no rolls.
Is this intermediate or is this advanced? All these pushes. It's blowing my mind.
Well,
Hey, I don't mind the aggressiveness. The pilots are flying
Okay.
free programs they've put together.
okay, the 30-degree 45 up line, and then a push over to a vertical, and then out.
I
Then
thought
he's
that was
done.
going to be a much different, because I'm not looking away from him. I can't see the
Okay, next is a double Humpty,
double hump.
a classic paper clip Humpty.
Okay, pull, pull, pull.
All pulls.
Yeah, this is classic judging right here. I'm just looking at him. You're calling figures. What's next?
All right, next is a 1.5 turn spin.
1.5 turn spin. Okay. Oh, was that an up-down hump? That was a double hump.
Yeah, so a double Humpty.
Gotcha.
All pushes. All pulls, rather.
Well, except the push cap, but that's fine. He's out upright. 1.5 turn spin. And keep rotating. There we go. Look at that. Oh, he had battle through that. That was
180-degree heading change.
180-degree heading change for the spin, or he's got a 180 turn?
Next is a P-loop.
P-loop.
So he's going to do a P-loop, which finishes with the vertical line down.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Sorry.
Hold that down line and then out. Next is a hammerhead, which has a quarter roll on the down line.
Okay, hammerhead, quarter roll down, gonna exit on the wide. Looks like he's about center box. Could potentially go either way with this roll. And gonna take it away, nothing wrong with that. Nice big glider, easy to see-ish. And what's next?
Next is a 90-degree turn.
90-degree competition turn, roll,
Bring
set, pull.
Bring that down, back into the wind.
Don't over-G it. There you go. And a figure.
And number 7 is an alien head.
Alien head. Gotta have some smash for this. Boy, that's gonna be tough. Gotta pull the vertical, then loop around to the 45 down. There's vertical.
And loop around to the diagonal line. 30 degrees for gliders.
There we go. Nice. That was a nice compact
And
maneuver
then
right
level. Next is a half Cuban, stock half Cuban.
Okay, so yeah, he's doing a nice job positioning this in the box. Really good positioning. And now we have
The half Cuban.
half Cuban. Okay.
Number 9 is a lay down Humpty. 30-degree angled Humpty. So he pulls to the line, half roll, half loop.
They pull up to the 30, immediately start rolling. There's no delay there. You just don't have the time or the energy to do it. Nice 30 down. And then the figure.
Then the level line. Then final figure is a loop in the center box.
Okay, so George driving this thing right to the center of the box. They're fighting that 30 knots of wind aloft. Pulling here, basically maintain the stick position. And now could unload a bit, but don't let that speed run away. There you go. George Fish wagging out of the box. Nice job from the United States Air Force Academy, George Fish.
So why do the Air Force cadets fly these underpowered
Unpowered.
I'm sorry, relatively low performance training gliders when they're going to be flying F-35s one of these days?
Well, because learning the concepts of energy management applies to any fixed-wing aircraft out there. You know, this is just making them a better pilot. When I was out there in 2001, they did have a couple of powered gliders that could self-launch and climb up, but I don't know if those are still there or not. Actually, when I was there, they had the old yellow Schweitzers, and I've never seen a yellow Schweitzer from the Air Force Academy here at the contest.
Those are ancient.
Oh, yeah.
All right, next is Jared Bixenman. We've already seen this airplane fly once in this series.
Yeah, with Ryusi.
Well, you see. And it looks like it's a similar sequence. No, a little different. It's got an avalanche in it. This
Maya
one,
Fish saying, "Yay, George!" John Fish, thank you for joining us on the live stream.
yeah, Jared Bixenman is in the 300L, was flown by...
LP.
Oh, LP.
It doesn't say it, but I just know it's an LP.
Oh, it's an LP.
Yeah.
All right. And he has the alien head, the vertical line, the spin, the Humpty Bump, the Embleman, the Goldfish, the Hammerhead. I have not seen an avalanche yet in this series.
No. So this will be the first.
Well, I live in Utah, and we have avalanches all the time. That's where the snow slides down the hill, blocks the road that I get to the flight school.
Oh no! Do you guys do controlled avalanches at times?
Yeah, oftentimes the road will be closed because they're launching mortar shells into the snowpack to bring the avalanche down in a controlled manner.
And how does one sign up for the job of launching
Avalanche
mortar
control.
shells to the
I don't
hillside?
know. That's outside of my pay grade.
And it's right up here.
All right, is this the powered or the glider?
This is power.
Power.
This is Jared.
Okay. Want me to cover this one?
You or me?
Okay. I
Rock,
forget.
paper, scissors?
All right, you go ahead.
Okay.
All right, I'll read it to you.
All right. Oh, I can read it. This is powered. I just don't want to look away from the gliders. So Jared's diving into the box here from the left. Going to start off with an alien pulling to the vertical. And with power and the wind and everything today, you can take this right to center box. Looping portion over the top will have a bit of a downwind component. And that's exactly what Jared's doing, bringing it right to the middle. Jared's out of Colby, Kansas, and he's probably a third or fourth generation pilot. And he and I went to DPE school together. He's also a citation pilot and flies crop dusters as well for a living. So really, he lives in an airplane. Now setting the vertical here, going to push cap off the right. And setting up for a 1 1/4 turn spin. Either going to go left or right. Let's see here. Is he going to take it away or take it towards us? Looks like a right turn spin, going to come right at the judges. Vertical down, build and smash for the pull Humpty with a 3/4 roll up. This does have a directionalized looping portion over the top, so let's see, you're rolling. Good direction there. Now he's going to pull into the wind, keeping that airplane right on the upwind edge of the box. That's going to give him the most amount of room to come downhill, build some smash, and then pull exit left. Get set up for the half loop up with the 3 of 2. The 3 of 2 on the top of the next figure is going to take a bit of time, so good positioning in a box by driving it all the way to the other side. Take the time with this 3 of 2 to reposition Across the box now for an Enterprise, which involves a push down to the 45 and a 3/4 loop up to the 45 down. Into the wind, nice easy G here. Pull a little bit around the top, a little bit of float on the top, and a pull down to the 45. And pull, set, roll 204, 1, 2, 3. He's pulling. And now we've got a hammerhead, plain hammerhead, nothing up, nothing down. Just letting that wind move. He was quick into it, knowing that that wind is going to blow him to that northern edge of the box. He's already flown in the back seat with Ryusei, so he's already kind of seen how the wind moves his airplane around. Now he doesn't have the ballast of Ryusei in the front hole, but that's all right. Now, for the first avalanche of this series, let's see how Jared wants to put this thing just past the center of the box. Headed upstairs, gonna get that nose high and kick stick. Let her rip. Boom. Nice easy little float here, pulling back down into the wind and then backing off the G again as it gets in the wind to really round out that radius. Figure 9. Half Cuban with a 1.5 roll on the down line. Adding that extra full roll adds to the K, or difficulty value, of the maneuver. So the higher he scores percentage-wise, the higher overall score he will get on this maneuver, which is how we have the fundamental 4 maneuvers. Half Cuban is part loop, part roll, and combining the two increases the difficulty. Jared's flying the wedge right now, half roll on the down line, back to upright flight. Maintaining the 45-degree line on the down, pull back to level, drive it back to the edge of the box for a half loop up and a 2-point on top. Here we go, the 2.2 half rolls. Let's count the points. 1, 2. And Jared's finishing it off with a 180-degree competition turn, just like the known.
But inverted.
Isn't it a 180-degree inverted turn in the known as well?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's the inverted turn. Much gnashing of teeth by some of the pilots who were in intermediate when the 180 turn was on there.
When they saw that, huh?
Yes. Nice job, Jared. Well flown. And thank you for sharing your airplane with Ryusei.
Well, on the chat, I see once again a call out to Juliana, who flew a similar airplane to this a couple of years ago in Nationals. I met her at the time. She's a nice lady. And when I saw Jared's airplane, I thought it was her, because exactly the same color scheme. Turned to find out that these airplanes were originally with the Royal Jordanian Air Force.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they made their way back to the United States, got imported here, and Jared bought his from Warren Sillier's shop down in Palatka, Florida, and I believe Juliana bought hers from Warren as well. Juliana is also located down in Florida, and we miss her. We'd love for her to be here at the contest too. You know, but she's busy doing some other flying and working at the Schoolhouse of Flight Safety down there. And spreading the word of corporate aviation to all those 135 Part 91 pilots out there.
Well, the next glider coming up is Zachary Pollock in the MDM Fox, but he's flying primary. And the next power coming up is Trevor Smith. And what does Trevor Smith fly?
Trevor Smith flies an extra NG.
That's right. Nice gray and orange color scheme. But I see a glider.
I see a glider. Does look like a Fox. I'll let you call this one, sir.
All right. Fortunately, we've been able to move out, as the sun has shifted, we've been able to move out from under the tent a little bit, get a better field of view. Oh, there goes somebody's paperwork in the wind. I hate that.
That's why we have runners.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep my eye on this glider because he is very hard to see. He's coming into the box. He'll be diving in, giving his wing wag, and his first figure is a downline, 30-degree downline. That's going to set him up for his clover leaf, quarter clover. So have you flown the quarter clover?
Not on a glider. I've done it in the Super Decathlon quite a bit.
Yeah. All right, coming in, very stealthy. Maybe that's why they fly gliders, because they're going to fly stealth aircraft. There's the wing wag. All right, down line. Down.
There's a lot of yelling on the judges' line.
They just lost some paperwork in the wind.
Okay.
The paperwork, my friend, is blowing in the wind. All right, I have lost sight of him, but he's on his quarter clover. Coming around, coming around, coming around. And that'll finish him on the y-axis. Next will be his 270-degree turn. Jiminy, these guys are hard to see. There's a flash. It's coming around, 270-degree turn, turning downwind, and then he'll do a slow roll in the center box. A lot of adverse yaw on these gliders. And there's a nice roll.
I swear he just appeared in the sky. Like he was invisible and then he was suddenly there.
Okay, here's the wing over. Want to see a knife edge at the 90-degree point, and then smoothly back down. Great coordination exercise, wing overs. And then in the center box loop, I like to judge the loops by putting my finger or the tip of my pen right where the loop starts and try to see the symmetry. Well, he is getting blown downwind, isn't he? On the top of that loop. See if he comes right back to the point of my pen. Yeah, very close. Okay, wing wagon, and you're done. Boy, that's a lot of waiting and a long toe for a sequence that only takes a minute or so.
And now starts the most intense part.
Yeah, trying to get it back down on the ground safely.
Archer asked, which whistle do you like best, Foxes or DGs? I've never seen either of these fly live. I like the Fox. It's a higher performing glider, shorter wingspan, faster roll rate, and it's not as good of a glider as the DG, but for an aerobatic performer.
Not as good of a sailplane, for a long distance,
Yeah, but much higher performing glider. Looks like we're taking a break here, so we'll be back with you shortly here from Salina, Kansas. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Salina, Kansas for the second half of the intermediates powered glider and primary glider category. Welcome to the U.S. International Aerobatic Championships 2025, brought to you by Extra, Aura Aero, Game Aerospace, MX Aircraft Company, Northwest Insurance Group Incorporated, and American Champion Aircraft Corporation. I'm Rob Dumovic with Spread Aviation.
And I'm Jeff Granger from Pilot Makers Advanced Flight Academy in Provo, Utah.
Forrest Fox is behind the camera running the live stream here. And welcome all of you in the chat. Trace Horniman asks when's the finals? Technically Friday. Avalanche Aerobatics, hello. And Wingwag Social Club, welcome to the house.
All right, I hear a motor gearing up.
Yeah,
looks like he's on the base leg. There's the chief judge's cowbell. All right, this is Trevor Smith in the Extra NG. The NG is the next generation Extra, all composite construction, two-seater, unlimited class aerobatic trainer and competition airplane, two-seat, 580 displacement engine. He's coming in. First figure is a vertical lineup. This will set him up for a spin. Just a pull vertical, scrub off some airspeed, get your altitude, cap off, get ready for the spin. He does have to draw a line between figures. Judging criteria says there has to be a distinct separation between figures.
And you don't want to rush the judges.
Don't want to rush the judges. Auto rotation, back down, 1.5 turns, and exit on the reciprocal heading. He's coming across box in front of the judges. Along the left side, we're going to have a reverse wedge, 45 up line, a half roll, and then pull down to the vertical, hold the line, and off into the wind again. Figure 4 is a 4-point roll, 90 degrees each time. And figure 5 is a wedge, vertical line up, and then a 45-degree line down. And on that 45-degree line, he's going to do a 3 out of 2 roll. That is, he's going to do 3 half rolls, which will bring him back into upright. Figure 6 is an implement. Stock implement, half loop up, half roll off the top. Apparently the German ace during World War I, Max Zimmermann, developed this. 45-degree line down with a snap roll. Continue the same line and out to the right. Here is a stock hammerhead. Looks like he's at the floor of the box, which for intermediate is 1,200 feet above the ground. No way for us to measure that exactly, but if they thought he was low, they would give him a call out. Hammerhead pivot, and then back from right to left. On the left side of the box, pull, hesitation loop with tall flat sides, a vertical line, a half loop across the top. And then on this vertical down line, he's going to do a 3/4 roll, puts him on the y-axis. This is his cross-box corrector. 90-degree turn back into the wind. He's going to bank it and yank it. 11 is a half loop up. As you mentioned earlier, easier to do and less K factor, less degree of difficulty than a regular loop. This is a half square loop down, so a vertical line. And then figure 13 is going to be a half square loop up.
Really needs to drive this uphill. Really playing with the bottom of the box.
Right, because his next maneuver is a half loop down. That begins with a 2-point roll. So he needs that space before his altitude floor. Final figure is a 270-degree turn. I guessed correctly, and then he took that to the east initially. That brings him right over the judges' heads. Once his wing's level, he does his wing wag, signaling the end of his sequence. Don't go out to the west, that's where the gliders are, though. And that was Trevor Smith in the Extra NG. We have an NG in our chapter, and I've enjoyed flying with the owner and coaching him.
How good is the altimeter in that airplane?
I think it's good. Why?
A little concerned about his altitude there at the end of the figure, and hopefully the judges weren't too concerned with it. They have a better view than I do, but we definitely don't want to be low as competitors. Safety of the sport, safety of your competitors, safety of judges and the general public, the non-participating
People
public.
like to be low so they can give a good show, a good performance, but nobody ever collided with the sky.
Yeah. There's more airplanes in the ocean than there are submarines in the sky.
In the sky, that's right. Next power competitor is going to be Pete Muntean. He's flying an American Champion Super Decathlon, one of my favorite airplanes. We have a Super Decathlon at Pilot Makers in Provo. Okay.
You're gonna have a glider?
And the next one is going to be a glider. That's going to be Charles Fox. Is he flying a Fox? No, probably not.
Archer is requesting to see the ramp. Forrest. He wants to see the ramp cam.
The ramp cam. Charles Fox in a glider. What about Zachary Pollock?
I think we already saw Zachary Pollock.
We already saw him?
Yeah.
He was in the MDM Fox. Okay.
Okay, we have wing wags. I got a glider off.
Charles-
You call
Charles-
figures and I'll critique.
Okay. This is, and he is a intermediate free, so I need the green form. Charles Fox, nice kid. He was my recorder for the first unlimited flight.
Rooting for you, Charles. We got some wing wags going on here.
Okay, I recognize this sequence.
Intermediate?
Yep, it's going to start with a wedge, which is just a 30-degree up line, and then a vertical line down with no rolls.
Oh, a reverse wedge.
So,
No roll and a push. Oh, okay, so
just a line.
I think technically
diagonal
this is
lineup.
like a two-line figure.
A two-line figure. So then a vertical line down and then out. Then he's got the double Humpty, the paper clip. It's a pull, 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 push Humpty.
That's a lot of K factor in one figure.
Yeah. So he's got a vertical line down now. And then he's going to pull around the bottom. No rolls at all on this figure. And he's going to push out again. That gets him set up for his spin, which is a 1.5.
1.5 can go either way, or you're going to end up 180 degrees from wherever you're pointing.
And there's no engine torque to worry about on a glider. And it's 180, so it doesn't change his orientation, so it really could go either way.
Well, just battling that wind.
Okay, sets him up for figure 4, which is the P loop. So he's going to do a 3/4 loop, and then he's going to hold the vertical down line for a moment.
Okay.
How long? Long enough the judges can see it.
Yeah, as long as you draw a line, that's all that matters. So he'll just do what he needs to do for energy on the follow-on maneuver.
Which is a high energy maneuver. It's a hammerhead
Probably drives right to V&E then.
with a 1/4 roll on the down line.
V&E being the velocity never exceeds speed for the aircraft. Any
Okay.
faster than that, you're risking structural damage.
AKA the red line. Okay, now he does a 90-degree turn back into the wind. That was his crossbox corrector.
Roll it, pull it, right up on the front of the box.
Okay, then center box, the alien head, AKA keyhole loop, AKA vertical 5/8.
Okay, pull vertical. Easy to see if there's any accidental roll-offs or torques or anything with the positioning there right over the judges' heads. And on that 30-degree down line, actually looks a hair, yeah, looks pretty good. And now, how do we finish?
He's got 1, 2, 3 more figures. This is a half Cuban, stock half Cuban.
Okay, let's watch for this roll. Glider takes a nice amount of time to show that graceful roll there.
Now a lay down Humpty. So 30-degree line, half roll, and then a half loop around back to another 30-degree line.
Maybe running out a little bit of altitude here. Really got to push that stick forward. They're rushing right into the pole with the loop. They're not sure if they got that all the way around. Really tough to tell on that lay down figure. Really difficult. Must be hard to fly as well.
Okay, final figure in the center box is the loop. He's low enough we can hear him now.
Yeah. Love to hear that airflow. During the break, you may have seen glider coming into land. They went right over top of our head. You can really hear them at that point. Sounds quite impressive.
End of figure, end of sequence. And that was Charlie Fox, Air Force Academy Cadet in the DG.
Jonathan Griffith, thank you very much. You're my favorite commentator. Torrington Tail Slide, telling everybody they did a great job today.
They did a great job.
Well, keep watching, Torrington. We're halfway through. All right, so next we expect
Next we
my friend and yours,
Pete Muntean
Pete Muntean.
and the American champion super decathlon.
Pete Muntean and I have been competing together since 2014. He's one of the first people I ever ran into at a contest. And he was in the same decathlon then as well. So we both were in Sportsman together. And as I've gotten to fly some different airplanes, he's continued on as well. And this is his first nationals. And first year, not first year, I think he flew intermediate last year as well. So he flew intermediate last year, now he's in intermediate out here this year as well.
Well, I got a lot of respect now for people that fly American champion super decathlons in competition, since we have one at our flight school the past 3 years. I was really spoiled by the Extra. Extra is so light and easy to handle, so powerful, so fast, low drag. And I had flown Stodder back in the early 1990s, but really hadn't done much aerobatics then. And got in American champion super decathlon, tried to train people in the primary and sportsman routine. Boy, was I in for a shock.
Oh boy.
A lot higher stick forces.
I got
a lot
back
of
into
adverse
a
yaw.
decathlon last year and decided to do some pushes to vertical because I had never done that before in the decathlon, and it was quite a different beast. All right, here comes Pete Muntean diving into the box wing wagon and ready for a vertical pull. This is basically the same figure as a half loop up, except instead of pulling over the top, he'll push over the top and cap off exit right. Setting up now for a 1.5 turn spin. Only has one figure following this one, so he can place this right in the center of the box. Stop the rotation, setting the down line. He'll pull back to level and then set a 45 up line for a 45 hammer. There's the 45. He'll continue to pull to vertical, run the airplane out of speed, and do the hammerhead pivot. Vertical down, bringing the speed back on. He needs a little bit of smash for the fall-on maneuver, which is the second avalanche of the day. And, perfect maneuver to teach snap rolls in the decathlon.
Nice. I don't snap my decathlon much, but this would be a good way to learn it. And that snapped very quickly, didn't it?
Oh yeah, and Pete has the upgraded fuel tanks in there, so he doesn't have the issues that some of the pre-2008 decathlons tend to have with their fuel tanks. Lots of work that they've done with making sure that those are much stronger nowadays.
What year was that?
2008, P2008.
Mine's a 2005.
Be careful about snapping it. Half Cuban, half roll on the down line. And pull back level. Setting up right about center box for a pull Humpty. And this will have a quarter roll on the down line. Take him onto the Y-axis. Based on his positioning, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes either direction, either towards or away from the judges. Looks like he's going to take it to us. And he'll pull up for a hammerhead right in front of the judges here. And that'll also set it up so that the pivot direction is into the wind and fights some of the crosswind that he has in the box. A 2 of 8 on the down line to exit into the wind there for Pete. Pulling back to level with the NG, he needs to do a half square loop up. He'll follow that with the mirror half square loop down. Did see some good points on that 2 of 8 down.
Yes.
That's good. That's a good key. Make sure you show those judges those points. Don't give them a reason to go for a video review later. Half square loop down. Sets a level. Now we do the half loop up. And if it weren't for the laws of entropy, he would be going right back up to the same altitude he started out on this. But these are a little bit of losing maneuvers unless you're okay with being a little bit slower each time you do it. Now we have the half loop down. He'll follow that up with a wedge, pull vertical, 204 on the down. Because there's a 204, if you don't start this early enough, you could end up losing anywhere from 2 to 600 feet on this maneuver. So get over the top, start those rolls right away, show a point, get the next one done, get off it, get those equal line lengths. Figure 13, we have a hammerhead, a 45 exit. So he'll go up, run the airplane out of energy, kick the rudder to pivot, pull to the 45, show us that 45, and then exit. There you see the 45, and the 3 of 2 as the finale for Pete. Count the points, 1, 2, 3. All right.
And a little inverted wing wag.
And an inverted wing wag. Yeah, you got to give them a wag inverted if you finish inverted. It just has to be 1, doesn't have to be 3, but
No.
you know, 3 is the ultimate respect. I don't think anybody's going to downgrade your presentation score because you didn't give 3 to wing wags.
No. Next
Might
power,
take a chance.
next power competitor coming up is Sean D. Tucker.
Sean D. Tucker, SDT. Sean Tucker, longtime airshow, veteran airshow pilot, challenger, the Oracle Challenger red biplane, now hanging in the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. And he's done a lot to work with new talent as well. I think he's worked with Jesse Panzer. His son is also an airshow pilot. He's worked with a lot of people. Goody Thomas, who's out here competing in Unlimited now, was one of the original stars of Tomorrow. So that's really, really awesome to see someone who's had a career such that Sean D. Tucker has come back out and re-enter the competition world.
No law, no rule against somebody being an elite airshow pilot and competing in intermediate.
Absolutely not. Rob Holland won, 11 straight championships, and he was not the first to win multiple championships in a row as an airshow pilot. Leo Laudenschlager as well had many, many in a row, as well as, what did he have, 7 in total? I'll have to double check that number, but seeing Sean come back out and compete, maybe we'll see him in advance next year. He is out here representing the Gamebird, the GB1, as well as Casey, also in the same category. Casey and Sean have trained together, so we're not surprised to see them up at the tops of the score sheets.
Not at all.
At the end of the day.
And although he's an elite airshow pilot, occupied was one of the most desirable airshow acts for decades. He is a super nice, accessible guy.
Absolutely.
Had a beer with him last night. So enthusiastic. He's also been coming out to Heber, the city where I live, to coach a new Gamebird owner out there.
Yeah, his support for the Gamebird community as well is to be applauded.
All right, well, I'll call this one. I hear him coming in. I see
12
him
o'clock high.
I see him on base leg. Base leg, you are allowed to do a belt check, do a brief roll to inverted, make sure your belts are tight, you haven't lost any fuel caps, you're on the correct tank, your inverted oil system's working, don't have any FOD in the cockpit, and he makes a left turn and dives right onto the x-axis. They'll give us a nice wing wag to signal he's starting. There's the chief judge's cowbell, get everybody alert.
This sequence looks set up very nicely for a high wind box. Lots of looping figures, not as many on the vertical. Still a lot of vertical, but not as many.
The first figure is a 4-point roll, then a half loop up. Half loop up, he's going to finish inverted. Inverted, going downwind. Second figure is a half loop down. No rolls. Keeping it all nice in the center box. Third figure is a half square loop up. Vertical line, and they'll cap off inverted to our left. Nice vertical penetration. A Gamebird draws up some nice vertical lines. Figure 4 is an inverted spin, 1 turn. It's going to change his orientation from downwind to upwind, though, because he's going to recover upright.
The first inverted spin we've seen of this.
In intermediate, you wouldn't see that in a known, but you can certainly put it in your free. Figure 5 is a 45 entry line into a hammerhead. No rolls. He rolls up and rolls down.
You see how long a line that draws on the 45, and now how long a line of it that it draws on the vertical. He is still going up.
And he has the option of, if he feels like he has an excess of power, to throttle back a little bit, keep a little closer to the judges.
Yeah, you can pull the loud lever back. Who wants to? But
Okay. 2-point roll in the center box.
he's taking a break.
He's taking a break. He's wagged out.
There's something Sean doesn't like about the positioning or the energy state, so he's elected to take a break. That does come with a point penalty, but it's generally less of a penalty that you would get from putting a maneuver in a place you don't want it, and botching it, or doing it wrong,
Or zeroing a
or
maneuver.
zeroing the maneuver.
Did
Absolutely.
he do the 2-point roll?
He did not. He went straight into the wag.
I was expecting a 2-point roll, and I saw the wag, and wasn't sure if that was the figure or not.
Yeah, with this particular sequence design, he did put an extra figure on this downwind portion, and with the amount of wind that we had today, plus the speed of that aircraft, typically at 200 miles an hour, it's about 9 seconds across the box. He's probably doing about 240 across the box, so now he's only got 7 seconds to try and pack in an extra maneuver. It's just not going to work.
You know, I sometimes wonder if the box ought to be expanded. It seems like the box was designed at a time when aircraft were a lot less powerful.
And slower and draggier.
And slower and
yeah,
draggier.
it's like the box was designed to fly 100 horsepower monoplanes, and then
and clip-wing Taylorcraft.
yeah. So now we're trying to fly high horsepower, high performance, high speed airplanes.
360 horsepower airplanes.
Oh yeah, Marco Bo's airplane.
Yeah. Well, he's coming around,
Yeah,
and
here he comes.
if we see him wing wag, then he'll
Oh, we
probably...
just saw a two-point roll.
Okay, if that was a 2-point roll, it was not in the center box. Now he's pulling up on the hunting dock. Should be to our left, but he's more toward the center. And we'll see a quarter roll on the down line. Back on, and that will put him on the y-axis.
Coming right at the judges.
Then a pull to vertical and a quarter roll on the up line. Feet out of the box, then into the box.
Yeah, this needs to be a left roll, and he did it.
And then the hammerhead pivot.
You can probably see against the clouds how much this airplane is moving from its canopy to its wheels. It's moving from right to left, and that's just the wind.
And figure 9 on the upwind side of the box will be have to be about half roll off the top. Alright, there's the Immelman coming on into the left side of the box, a 2 out of 4, and a half loop down.
Sean definitely favoring the right-hand side of the box now.
Now reverse half Cuban, 45 line, half roll, continue the line, and then a smooth, then a 5/8 loop down. He is definitely keeping it onto the upwind side of the box.
Oh yeah, and he has to, because again, he's got an extra figure on this downwind portion.
And a slow roll in the center, and then a pull Humpty.
And now he's got a downwind push, looping figure over the top with the extra tailwind. That's moved him all the way
All the way
to
to the downwind side.
the downwind side of the box. Now he's got to fight to bring it back in, but we're at the last sequence, last figure, quarter roll.
With a 3/4 opposite, and finish inverted wing wag, and roll to upright, and you're done.
Yeah, so generally as a free sequence design, you want to, if you're going to have 3 maneuvers, you want to put those on the upwind side so that your ground speed is reduced, you have more time to put the maneuvers, and then 2 figures on the downwind side, and just in case you get a windy day like today where you're really having to work to compensate for it.
Part of the science of designing a good freestyle. Well, that was Sean Tucker, and next coming up is Micah Reynolds in a Stodder S600. Find his. We have 2 more gliders coming up.
Melissa Courtney, thank you for joining the live
Robin
stream.
Simmons.
Thank you for cheering on Pete and all your support for Pete over the years. And you are yourself a fantastic aviator, aviatrix. And Archer, a Brazilian unlimited airplane developed by the creator of the Embraer T27 Tucano, the K55. Yeah, I don't know that I am familiar with the K55. See, I thought I immediately thought Yak 55. But yeah, I don't know what a K55 is. And Archer, also congratulations, you moved from number 2 to number 1. I don't know, a commenter. Not many info about it online, but it's crazy. Okay. The Embraer T27 Tucano, I believe, was also used as the platform for what was it, the Toucan, the Super Toucan?
Super Toucan?
Yeah, which had PT6 turboprop. They used to, what was his takeoff? He used to take off, pull vertical right away.
Was that Wayne Handley?
Wayne Handley, and then flip over and throw it into beta and then go up backwards.
Go backwards?
Yeah. Crazy performance.
All right. I see a glider.
I see a glider off toe.
Just went off toe.
Who do we got here?
This is Robin Simmons.
Robin Simmons. Okay, very
Robin
good.
Simmons in the MDM Fox.
All right. I'll let you call. And
All right, I'll
just
call
keep
it for
an
you.
eye.
All right. This is.
There's a cloud up there, thank goodness, because I can actually track them.
Yeah, he's going to start off with a 2-point roll in the center box. You have got eyes on him?
Yes, he's in the clouds, which we hopefully will maintain
Against
a
the
little bit of
clouds.
coverage. I like a bit of an overcast, thin overcast sky for judging grading aerobatics.
Yeah, a featureless sky is challenging for the judges
Yes.
to pick out the aircraft.
Saw some wing wags. What's our first figure?
First figure is a two-point roll center box.
Okay, 2-point roll. Long cross country, bringing the airplane in from the aerobatic hold up at 4,500 feet, fighting that 30 knots of wind. Winds are actually lower at 6,000 than they are down here at 3 in the surface.
Okay.
They're only calling them 10 knots.
Okay, Robin, 2-point roll.
Anytime.
Anytime.
Good spot. There we go. Count the points. 1, 2.
Yeah. Next is the Goldfish, aka Starship Enterprise. Starts with a 45-degree down line
3/4 loop up.
and a 3/4 loop.
What's on the down line?
On the down line's a 2 out of 4.
2 of 4.
And I've lost him, so
I got him.
Don't take your eyes off of him.
No. Forrest is doing a great job tracking the aircraft through the sky with the camera over there. I very clearly saw a 204 there. They look like they are going so fast now. That
Okay.
looks like 200 knots.
All right, next is the Immelman. Got to get that in before you reach the downwind side of the box.
That was awesome. That was awesome to watch. That just ripped around the radius, rolled on top, and now it's like parked.
Here comes the spin, 1 1/4.
1 1/4 turn spin. Judging by their positioning, I bet they go to the right, but they could go either way, but I think they'll go right. There it is. There's
You
the
are
right.
correct.
All right, what's after this 1 1/4?
Next is a pull Humpty
Pull.
with a 1/4 roll on the down line. So he's going to correct to the west to compensate for the cross box wind and pull into the Humpty.
That's interesting. You track west, do the loop over the top, put your bit back at pit east, and then exit to the right here.
Oh, he's going to exit.
Oh, exit to the right.
Oh, he's going
No-
to exit
no
to the
hammer.
right, yeah. Good point, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Working
then-
that right edge of the box.
Okay, then up to the upwind side of the box for a hammerhead.
Yeah, really nice sequence build for this amount of wind. This is working out rather well. Now they're coming back to the center box.
Yep, now on the downwind side, a reverse wedge. Pitts S2B. It's what I did my core aerobatic training in with the late great Bill Thomas down in Venice, Florida.
Oh. And the stream is back.
The live stream's back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you missed us, we're back.
Power supply issue.
Okay.
Had a little power supply issue out here in the boondocks.
So we just had Micah Reynolds in the Stodder, and shortly we'll have coming up Jim Spaller in a Pitts S2B. We also have one glider left. I believe it's a primary.
If you're interested in Micah Reynolds' flight, it will be on IAC. I think it'll be on this. Yeah, I think it will be on this YouTube channel once the full upload goes on. Could also be available on IAC.org over there. So Micah, we apologize for not having you out there live, but Micah, nice flight, well flown in that Stodder S600. Looks like we're going to have a glider coming in, Emiliano Captain.
This is the last glider, presumably a Cadet because it's the DG, and he'll be flying primary.
And I've got them up on the tow. Looks like the tow plane is beginning the diving left turn, and the sailplane is on the diving right turn, final into the box.
Pretty straightforward sequence. You might say it's pretty simple, but any kind of aerobatics is got a real challenge.
Absolutely.
The first time people try these figures, they tend to be astonished at how difficult they are. They watch these air show performances and think, well, if I'm going to roll the airplane, I just have to go like this, and if I'm going to loop the airplane, I just have to go like this. Find out there's a lot more to it.
A commercially rated aviator has seen in their training 25 degrees of pitch up, 10 degrees pitch down, and about 50 degrees of bank, which accounts for 11% of the all-attitude envelope, whereas a primary level aerobatic pilot has seen 100% of the all-attitude envelope and is considerably more comfortable once they get beyond that 25 up, 10 down, or 50 degrees of bank than a commercial pilot.
Speaking of which, we just saw the 30-degree down line, and now we're going into the quarter clover. Pull up and smoothly integrate quarter roll into the first half of the loop, then finish the second half of the loop with no rolling component. Puts him onto the y-axis, heading away from us. Then a 270-degree turn. So to go downwind, he'll have to initially turn to his right in order to go left. Establishing a 60-degree bank angle, not changing the bank angle or the heading change until he reaches his intended heading, at which point he'll stop and roll out the bank angle. There you go. Figure 4 in the center box is a slow roll. We want to see the airplane continue on the established line, center of gravity track not change, the roll rate not change, the heading not change. Figure 5 is a wing over. This will be a smooth pull up, 180-degree turn, and at the 90-degree turn point we should see a knife edge. That is a 90-degree bank. Bring it around smoothly, and that sets up the energy for the final figure in the center box, which is the loop. 360-degree pitch change with no heading change, and I guess no bank angle change, really.
Yeah.
Although it looks easy, this requires a continuous variation in the amount of back pressure, from a high G pull initially to a floating across the top, and then another high G pull at the bottom.
Yeah, if you don't vary that back pressure, they'll make an egg shape, a nice pinched top and a fat bottom.
Maybe good if you're barnstorming, but if you're doing an aerobatic contest, you won't score well.
Yeah, it's a loser.
All right, that was our last glider of the day.
All right, thank you to all the glider pilots and the tow pilots who have been constantly doing these up-downs with their airplanes and getting these cadets and civilians.
Emiliano Captain. So we've got Jim Spaller coming up. Total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more power competitors. Power intermediate Jim Spaller in the Pitts S2B. So how many different versions of the Pitts Special were there?
17. I don't know. I'm guessing.
I don't know. I mean, there's Pitts S1S, S1T. There's super stinkers and toxic stinkers.
Well, what did Curtis call the first Pitts?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He just called it the Pitts Special.
Pitts Special.
It's a single seat, open cockpit with about 85 horsepower. But
wasn't the first? He had the FAA out, the CAA, whatever it was at the time, to look at it, and the guy kind of scratched his head and went, I don't know, and walked away. And Curtis flew it anyway, came back in and landed. The guy had apparently been watching him from the bushes. And then he said, okay, you're certified, or here's your stamp of approval.
Expecting it to crash. Huh?
Yeah, it's because he survived it.
Okay. Well, in addition to the factory-built, in addition to the experimental-built ones, there's factory-built ones made by Aviat up in Afton, Wyoming. First the S2A, the S2B, and now the S2C, and also I believe they will do a factory build on a single seat. But these are very popular training aircraft because they're standard category certified aircraft. They can be in a flight school, especially the S2B, probably produced more than any other. All right, Jim's wing wagging into the box. Very dynamic wags there from an experienced pits driver as he pulls to the right about center box. There he goes right in front of the judges. Show off that beautiful pits. The S2B pushing over. He's set up for the 1 1/4 turn spin. Let's see, left or right? I bet it's left. Okay, we got a nose drop, we got rotation. There he goes, 1 1/4, crisp stop on heading. Really nicely done. Spin, maneuver that killed a lot of pilots, especially in the early days of aviation. Jim just stopped it on a heading. That's how controllable a spin can be. Vertical with a 1/4 roll up, pull, exit right inverted, and then a half square loop down to follow. Driving it over to the edge of the box. Jim lets her come downhill, building up some airspeed for a pull Humpty. Pulling up to the vertical, again right in front of the judges. Sets up for the half looping portion over the top. Another example of how we're just cutting apart those basic 4 figures. There's the top half of the loop. And now entering into the hammerhead. Kick. The wind is really blowing him out the left side of the box. I don't think he's out. He's probably right on it. Got a really good look, and he'll hopefully drive this 3/4 and then opposite 3/4 to right here in front of the judges. This is really nicely placed. I think so far he's got a 10 for presentation for me. My score doesn't matter, but pulling up for the half loop up and 2/4 on top. Jim continues to place the maneuvers very well in the box. 1, 2. We're looking for a half snap and a half loop down. Half snap. Half loop down. Nice presentation. And then Jim half. 1. Again, continuing the well-placed figures. He's down low, right in front of the judges, putting things right in the center. Pull, push, Humpty, 1/4 roll on the down, going to exit onto the Y. Betty takes this one away, going to the left. Yep, there it is. Left roll, left turn, and a pull down with 270. On the Y, this one will have to go into the wind. Again, working the upwind side of the box. It's like there's no wind up there when he's flying these figures. Exiting here, 45 hammer. Now this one, we're gonna see some wind because it's got this vertical section. 45, attitude is set now into that vertical. You see that wind really blowing that airplane from right to left as he kicks over the top for the hammer and pulls level for a 4-point roll. Count the points with me. 1, 2, 3. 4, 1/4 rolls. 180-degree competition turn. It just went to Sesame Street in here. 180-degree competition turn. And figure end of sequence. Well done, Jim. That is how you do it. That's how you do it. You like that.
That was well done.
And he really showed how the biplane can corner too.
Holy cow.
Slow speed cornering is what the biplane does well. That was Jim's power.
I hope the judges' scores reflect how good of a performance that was.
Okay. Well, we are done with gliders, right?
Oh, we're done with gliders.
That makes my paperwork simpler. James Spaller. Next is Stephen Fiegel in the new Aura Aero Integral R.
Aha.
Very interested in seeing this airplane flying. I first met the Aero people about 4 or 5 years ago at Oshkosh and heard about their concept. Basically, they wanted to try to resurrect the venerable Cap 10B, which had been made by Aviance Woodry, but was no longer being manufactured. It was a favorite of French aerobatic schools. So they took the same basic planoform, the low-wing monoplane, with the bubble canopy, two-place side-by-side seating, and made an all-new design to be made out of wood and composite. They used a super reliable engine, 4-cylinder Lycoming, 390 instead of 360.
More power, baby.
More power. You know, there's no replacement for displacement, as they say. But they like the 4-cylinder engines because avgas is so expensive in Europe. In fact, my old Extra 200, which has a 4-cylinder engine, is now back in Europe at an Aero Club in Toulouse.
Oh, wow. Well, Steve is diving in here from the judge's left, and we're excited to see him fly.
I'll bet you'd like to have a sequence.
It'd be great to have a sequence, but we'll listen to the music of the AEIO 390 cubic inch Lycoming
with the Hartzell Trailblazer prop.
Yes, as he pulls to the vertical.
So this is a double Humpty, so-called paperclip. Pull, 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 and then push. So smooth half loop across the top, vertical line, low drag, monoplane, draw some nice smooth lines, pull around to the vertical, and then push to cap it off. That gets him his altitude, decreases his airspeed to get ready for the spin, which is a 1.5. Nice auto rotation, he's spinning to the right, and stop on heading, and draw a vertical line, build up your speed again. This is all about exchanging airspeed for altitude and altitude for airspeed over and over again. It's like tossing a ball up and down in the air. Now, half loop up, finish inverted. That's the end of figure number 3. Figure number 4 is going to be a half loop down. He's going to hold it on that inverted line, drive it into the wind, reposition, come around. Now he's going downwind. Figure 5 is a 45 entry into the hammer. Hold the 45, then pull to the vertical. And he has a Lycoming engine, so he will pivot to the
Left. That half loop up on figure 3, he absolutely ripped around.
Yeah.
That was impressive to watch.
All right, nothing on the down line. Then he's going to go out to the right for a slow roll. Let's see how fast this can roll. Can it roll as fast as an extra? Pretty good, and I didn't see any change in the center of gravity track.
No wobble there.
Figure 7 is an N figure, shaped like an N, so he's going to do a vertical line. Haven't seen this in intermediate before.
Well, this is an example of a maneuver that for a free program is set up for maximum risk, maximum fun, but may not score all that well because there's a lot of different elements to it. 3 different lines.
That's right, he's got to do that vertical line, and he's going to lay out inverted. Finish figure 7 inverted, and he's going to drive across the box into the wind. Hold it, you got a strong wind down the box, just wait.
I need to ask him about how comfortable those belts are to hang in.
Yeah, I think he's got standard dual hooker harnesses. So
there you go.
Should be comfortable. Now drop it down on a vertical down line, quarter roll. Taking it away from us, yes, to the east. Then this is going to be a pull Humpty with a 2 out of 8, but the 2 out of 8 comes on the down line. Always easier to roll on the down line when you can see the box clearly. 2 out of 8, and 1 and 2, and out to the left. Figure 10 on the downwind side of the box is a stock hammerhead, no rolls. So just pull the vertical, take your time, smoke a cigar, wait for the pivot,
I just thought of Lawrence Welk when you went, and the 1.
And the 2. That should have some bubbles. And nothing on the down line. Okay, and back into the center box. The center box figure is a push, pull Humpty. So he's going to pull, and then he's going to push it across into the wind. So you can see how he's drifting with the wind. Hoping to fly this airplane on Saturday. And then set the down line, and let the speed build up, and off you go. Now 180-degree turn. Sounds like he's got the power in and leaving it there. My coach taught me the lever A, lever B theory. You know that one?
Oh, push lever A forward and lever B.
That's right. I don't want you throttling back except to spin and to land. Now, figure 13 is an Immelman, half loop up, half roll off the top, back into the wind. Figure 14 is a half snap and a half loop down. Snap left or right, left or right.
Left.
It's going to be left.
He went right. He's a crazy man.
That's the French for you. 270-degree turn to the right, that'll finish to the left. Don't go out the left, don't go out the west boundary of the box, that's where the gliders are. Set your line, give us a wing wag, and pull off downwind.
I think we just saw two of the best sequences in a row out of the entire category between Jim Spallner and Steve Fiegel.
And one was a venerable biplane, and the other was a new monoplane.
Absolutely, and then a very, very, very close third was Casey. I thought Casey had the other standout performance of
in
the
the
day.
in the all composite carbon fiber wonderplane.
Right, so we've got classic historical S2B, we've got modern primary trainer, and modern super sport.
All right, now you're going to see a Panzel. Panzel is the Stodder design built by the Panzel brothers. And this is Wayne Forbes.
What's that?
We have lightning 11 miles away.
A lightning 11 miles.
So we're pausing.
We are pausing
We
for
are
lightning.
pausing for lightning.
Within 11. Okay.
Only 11 miles?
Yeah. It's fine. Yeah,
that's
safety
fine.
third.
That's fine.
No.
Are we going to pause the live stream then?
That is going to be up to the guy who's sitting next to the really tall antenna.
We can answer some questions if there are questions.
Yeah, go ahead and folks, if you have any questions there in the chat, go ahead and throw those in the chat. We're going to take a little break here, but we'll come back and answer those questions. Thank you
All right,
very much for listening to the U.S. National Aerobatics Intermediate category brought to you by Extra, or Aero, Game Aerospace, MX Aircraft Company, Northwest Insurance Group Incorporated, and American Champion Aircraft Corporation.